welcome to our day 13 of the Smart Financial series. If you're joining me for the very first time, my name is Chidene, your favorite financial educator here on TikTok, and in the past 12 days, we've been having conversation around making smart financial move here in the UK. How are you doing? Hope the day is not out as I think it is in your end. I hope you can hear me clearly. I have a fan blowing by my side, so please don't bear with me if hope is not so noisy. Alright, so how are you doing? That's been your day. Here in the UK, it's a bit hot. And for the first time after a long, well, maybe several months, I'm enjoying the UK again because of the hot weather. Good evening, guys. If you are joining me for the first time, my name is Jidene, your favorite financial educator here on TikTok, and I stream teaching people, especially of my own color in the diaspora, on how to make smart financial moves. And we've been having conversation for the past 13 days. Today is day 13, right? Beautiful. We've been having conversation looking at several topics. Why? Because if you come to a foreign land, I like using this example. Many of us came from from Africa, some from Ghana, Nigeria, as the case may be. You came to this foreign land and you believed that the issue with where you came was the system. Unfortunately, you are now in the UK and you are technically complaining about the same system. And I always say that to say that there was no system that was designed, structured to make you wealthy or to make you successful. I remember I was going to Albania. I was in last year, November, with some of my community members. And as I landed in Albania, just the only thing that came from my heart and my mouth was, places don't make people. It is what people make out of those places that determine their outcome. So in other words, UK does not necessarily have something in stock for you to make you wealthy. That's why some of you would have considered it, look at it, you've been here for 3 years, 4 years, as the case may be, and it looks like things are not changing, and it looks like all the promises that was given to you, in quote, are not coming to pass. Why? Because you just need to sit down and understand how systems were built. Systems were built, number one, to favor the need of the system, not the new introduction. We were introduced into the system because of a shortfall to cover. Now, the greatest mistake you can do to yourself is to enter such a system and think that the system was designed to make you wealthy or to give you that kind of life that you said you jackpot from Nigeria to come here for. And I say that to make you understand that the moment you understand that it's all about control, the moment you understand that the more I relinquish control, the more I relinquish the possibility of my life to the system, the more I keep expecting so much from it. And I always tell you guys, it's not so much of how much you do. It's not so much of how quick you do it. It's not so much of speed. This system is a system whereby it doesn't reward you for hard work. It bills you for hard work. So the more you earn, the more the tax you pay. So you ask yourself, I'm doing extra shift, I'm doing all those things. Number one, you are not the one determining how much you earn. That's number one. Number two, you are not the one determining when and how to work. And I keep telling you, anything controlling your time is technically controlling your life. So you need to sit down and understand or ask yourself this critical question. Then why did I come to this diaspora? Why did I come here? Some of us felt like when you came in, like those who came with math for masters, you just felt that once you finish your masters and you enter the market, everywhere would just be bubbling and everyone would be rushing you. I like asking, how is market? I'm saying this not sarcastically, but I'm trying to let you know that the moment you hand over the possibility of your outcome, in quotes, to a structured system, you would only be the pond that they'll be pushing left, right, and center. So that's why we need to sit down. And this is what I discussed in my first conversation on the day 1. Today is day 13. I said understanding the system. Blindly entering into a system and expecting the system to hand over to you gold or whatever you came here for is one of the easiest way to live in Delulu. So what is the system structure? The system has structured it in a way whereby you are expected to come in, get to work or get a job, as it were, to do, do it until you are tired. And at age 67, they now retire you. And you are now left with nothing except for what the pension system has in stock for you. And I'm saying that many of us, this is what we are using to build our life. Have we sat down and asked ourselves, what is the possible end going to look like? The Bible says something I like using. The Bible says you want to go to war. Won't you first sit down and look at your opponents, count the number of army, look at his arsenal, and find out if you have sufficient thing to overcome that enemy. If you don't, then you should go and make peace, right? It simply means that it's not something you jump into blindly. Unfortunately, if you continue like this, you will be shocked what 10, 15, 20 years of your life will look like. So that's when you start hearing people saying, the UK is not this, the UK is not easy, the UK is not that. Why? Because they were only following the system. The system is saying, okay, work after 5 years, we're going to hire you, bro. We're going to give you your ILR after such maybe 1 year extra. You understand? We're going to make you a citizen. I'm asking, hope you know that ILR is not like an exit to financial challenge. It's not like when you have ILR, suddenly money will start following you. Except you want to, let me assume that you even want to live on universal basic benefit. Do you know what it means? That means you are going to downgrade your life to the extent whereby you are expecting those kind of funds. And I say that to always ask you, is this what you came here for? Is this the life that you said to yourself that this is what I want to come and experience here? And that is why I'm saying that please, as much as you apply effort working, doing all those things, sit down and always ask yourself, is it going to take me closer to where I want to get to? If the answer is no, then we have to start asking the real critical question and asking ourselves, so what can I do? How can I position myself, number one, to leverage the opportunity in the system, but above all, to transfer control back to my hand? I keep praying for every one of us that is doing 9 to 5. It's a prayer that none of your boss will find you so irrelevant that they will downscale your work, your department, or they will let you go. And the second prayer, which is also critical, that God will not let your health fail in a way whereby you cannot work. Hence, because the only means of income based on the system is salary. That's the expected means of income. And the funniest thing about salary, immediately enters, maybe for the first 1 week, you are hype, you are up. Before the middle of the month, you are almost reducing back to 20%, some even to overdraft. Imagine that kind of system and creating that kind of life set for over 10 years, over 20 years, over 30 years. And you know what I keep saying? You are not getting younger. Time is on your side, but time is also not on your side with respect to whatever you are doing and how you are building. And that's why you have to sit down. I use this analogy a lot. I said, I live somewhere in Liverpool, close in the Wirral, close to the Liverpool, and imagine I want to go to Scotland, which is up north of where I'm staying. However, I went to the train station and I saw a train moving that has a speed of over 200 kilometers per hour. However, I wasn't aware that the train was heading to London. So I entered into the train. Do you know that when it comes to speed, I will be qualified as the fastest, or I mean the fastest, train that I would ever find in the UK. But the question is, I am fast in what direction? So I said, in as much as you are doing, make sure you pay attention to direction. So in aspect of speed, yes, do and maximize opportunity. But you must not forget that where is it taking you to? Is it taking you close to the kind of life you came here to settle for? So that's why we've been having this conversation again and again, and it's been awesome 12 days back to back. The next second day, we spoke about dealing with debt, understanding that debt is a product. Debt is not a favor from God. Debt is not an advantage. And the way many immigrants use it, we use it on consumable, not on building assets. So you find out that the immigration is doing its own. We are widening the gap. I call it the slavery trap, by even encumbering ourselves with more debt. So you have to really sit down and ask yourself, then why do people be in this system for 10, 15 years and it looks like they are not making advancements? Why? Because if you don't sit down and ask yourself these questions and make this kind of conversation, you'll find out that you'll be shocked when 10 years will clock. You'll clock 10 years in this UK and it will look like, okay, so what have I done? How quick have I achieved all these things I need to achieve? So that's why we had that conversation on debt. The third one, we talked about credit system, understanding that credit score is just a number, but the major thing is your reporting. We sit down to ask people that, why do you take credit card? Many people say the reason why we take credit card is to build your credit score. And I said, do you know that credit card, in as much as it can help you build, you don't necessarily need it to build your credit score. Especially when you know that when it comes to using debt, you are very bad at it. And how do I mean you are bad at it? Guys, debt is something that helps you to live above your means. Let me use the word. Every month, what comes into my hand is £2,000. The bank, because it's a product, is willing to give me an overdraft of almost more than £3,000 to £4,000, when they know quite rightly that at the end of every month, I don't have this amount in my pocket. So they are telling me that, don't worry, Jide, even though you cannot afford it, we can help you to live above your lifestyle. So we have to really sit down and understand what has been structured in the system and has been running for years. Because if we don't pay attention to these things, you find out that we would rather be blaming the system more, when we should sit down and understand the structure and ask ourselves, where is our leverage? How can we position ourselves to maximize the opportunities that practically might not be available in your own country? For instance, if I'm back in Nigeria, I must have somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody before I can get a job. Nepotism. But here in the diaspora, if I can show myself that I'm competent and I can structure myself in a way that they can see my value, I don't even need to know anybody and I can get the role. If it was back in Nigeria, security would be something that would be very alarming. It is so painful when I sit back and sometimes I look at the news I'm hearing. News that we used to hear that is happening in North, now we can hear it happening in Ibadan. Getting close to Lagos, insecurity. Yes, I don't experience the same thing here. If I'm going to be doing what I'm doing now, I know the cost of streaming and setting up lights, in Nigeria. Now, we have all these, in quotes, social amenities and several other opportunities around us. The question is, are you here to now settle for this thing they call pseudo comfort? Or you are asking yourself, in the midst of all that is around me, how can I structure and make the most of it? So that I just don't keep waiting for one immigration rule. Guys, after ILR, there's life. Hope you know. So imagine now, in quotes, stifling 5 years of your life. Now they are thinking of increasing it to 10. Why? Because it was not designed for you. There was a reason why they designed it, not to make you wealthy. So the moment they see that you are moving out of, for me, I call it the Jacob and the Laban scenario. So it's going to always be like that. Why? Because it wasn't designed for you in the first place. But now you are here. Will you now sit down and settle for less? Or ask yourself, how can I leverage growth that would have taken me years with most failed system back where I'm coming? How can I leverage on it for advancement and growth here that I'm in the diaspora? So the fourth day, we spoke about budgeting. We spoke about creating a management system for your finance. Guys, I say this, before you think of making more, where the money is entering to, you have to manage it well. It's not so much of how much you make at the end of the month. It's so much of how much you keep. That's the first principle if you want to do well in diaspora. If I'm making £100,000 in a year, and all I can keep in a year is just £4,000, and someone else is making £35,000 and is able to keep £3,000, that guy financially is doing well that I am doing. So you have to sit down before we start running after more money, increasing everything around us so that we can earn more. Ask yourself, what system are you bringing the money into? Why? Because if you bring a money into a leaking system, it's just going to amplify the leak. What we call lifestyle bloating will naturally set in. Why? Because the system is already flawed. And why do we talk about budgeting? We don't talk about budgeting because you have more or you have less. Budgeting has nothing to do with how much you have. Budgeting simply means you are giving direction to your money so that you know, say, help me, I don't know where they carry me go. It simply means that what you don't give direction to, you cannot manage it. What you cannot manage, you cannot improve it. And what you cannot improve, you are not in control of it. So you are going out every day, working extra shifts, doing things that you don't enjoy doing. So at the end of the month, the money comes into your hand. But before the end of the month, you're already depending on overdraft. So can you see that you can practically run that system for another 7 years and it will look like this is normal? Guys, it is abnormal. It is not normal. Stop normalizing what is abnormal, except this is what you came here to settle for. And why am I saying so? If you don't start thinking this way, you find out that it's the same crab effect. You just keep rolling, you're trying to go up, the system will pull you back again. You try to go up, the system will pull you back again. Why? Because of the way you are reasoning. There's an analogy that somebody gave on how they killed a particular frog. If you put hot water down and you throw the frog into the hot water, what's the frog going to do? Quickly, it's going to leap out because he has strong lower back limb. He's going to leap out of the hot water and rescue himself, right? But do you know that same frog, if you put that same frog into a cold water, a pot with a cold water, and you apply it gradually to that same frog, do you know what the frog will be doing? It's not going to jump out. It's going to keep adjusting. It's going to keep adjusting his body to the new temperature. It's going to keep adjusting until it gets to a point whereby his temperature cannot, or his body cannot withstand the new temperature, and the blood in the plane was going to burst off rather. So you find out that if you are not careful, you just keep adjusting. Say, I have overdraft. Let me increase my overdraft allowance. I can get 3 more credit card so that at least I know in the first 4 years I'll be settled. Guys, I'm asking you, how market? You said you will settle in 1 year. Can't you see 3 years is counting? So before you think of adding more, can we sit down and ask ourselves, where is this money going to? And how can I optimize it? And this is what I always recommend. Anybody that has not done this, please do it. Why? Because this is one of the biggest blessings your bank has given you. Go and download your account statement for the past 5 months. Run it through any of this AI that you like using. I like using Perplexity, especially for this kind of conversation, because it's going to give me more information. Put it in. Tell it to analyze and tell you where your money is going to and how your money is being allocated. Many of us know where it's coming in, so you don't need to ask you where is money coming from. You know his salary. But where it is going to is what we want to pay attention to. Guys, you start seeing many new revelations. You start seeing the witch and the witchcraft and the wizard that is taking your money inside that account statement that you just downloaded. Why? Because it's going to show you your pattern. It's going to show you how you engage with money, how you have been doing it in the past 5 months. So in other words, it's going to show you that this is who you are, not what you say you are. Why? Because your spending is already showing that this is how you engage, or this is how you interact with money. When I did it for myself, one of the first reality I discovered was in less than 1 month, I have done almost £300 on TikTok coin. TikTok coin. I don't play box battle. I just love giving people. Another one which I did recently, looking at overdraft for 2022 to 2023, the interest paid alone was over £700. Interest alone is taking £1 today, taking 0.5 tomorrow, taking £1 tomorrow, taking this tomorrow. I'm not even talking about what many of us are using on credit card. Because if you don't pay attention to those informations, you'll find out that leakages will keep increasing and expanding while you are working out and seemingly money is coming in. So can you see why you pay attention to where your money is going to? Why? Because without it, you can't even create an informed budget to give direction to your money. One of the best things that happened to me during that period of doing all this analysis, back in 2023, 2024, when I first did it, was I discovered for house rent, I paid nothing less than £27,000 within 18 months. You know what first came to me? I said, do you know this is down payment? He said, I am not happy. Why? Because I know the only person who will be happy is landlord. I said, do you know what this is? Or do you know what it means? If I continue making this payment for 5 years towards ILR, do you know I would have paid £90,000 minimum in house rent alone? House rent alone. But if I could not see the information, do you know I would have been successfully doing it diligently every month? But I would not be able to pay attention to the fact that money is leaking. And please, anything that is in your recurring, especially the one who are the heavier part of your recurring, anything you can do to make it drop is going to give you breathing space when it comes to money. So what did we do for ourselves? For me, then I had to sit down and take the map of UK, and I start analyzing, and I discovered that the higher you go, the upper you go, the lower the cost of living, especially from a rental perspective. Rent is one of the major things taking our money here in the UK. Major, at least nothing less than 60 to 70% of your money is going to rent every month. How are you doing, bro? So when we did that analysis, I discovered that, okay, if I can move up from Birmingham upward, I can literally slash our house rent and create breathing space, and discover that I don't have any business depending on overdraft at the end of the month. You know what we did? When we moved, in a year, we were able to save £6,000 from house rent alone. Just by moving from one location to another location. Do you know what £6,000 is? Do you know how hard I will work to make £6,000? But I was still not satisfied. Why? Because I know anything I pay in house rent is gone. It's not coming back to me. And I tell everybody, we are all on a mortgage. That is the simple truth. We are all, everybody staying in the UK is on a mortgage, except for those who are living in council house. It's either you're on the mortgage directly by yourself, or the landlord has taken the mortgage on your behalf and is now collecting profit on it. You know the difference between you being on it directly or the landlord being on it for you. All right, if you are on it directly, you have the potential of building what we call equity, depending on what you want to do with that money. Guys, I'm not thinking of paying all my mortgage before I die. That's not my plan. You must understand how the game of the money works, but that's another conversation for another day. But now, I am building equity with the ability of the bank seeing me in a much more viable positioning if I need funds for something in the future. While you, that the landlord is taking it on your behalf, you are paying the landlord's mortgage for that property you are renting. And in addition, you are paying in profit. No landlord in his wise sense will set up a buy to rent. I will be collecting the same amount that they are paying as mortgage. So you are paying more at the long run. But unfortunately, that money is gone if you do it for 5 years. So imagine £90,000, bam, gone. So what did I do? We had to structure ourselves and say this £6,000 is not for loud spending. It's not so that we can bloat our lifestyle, that God has finally helped us. We are no longer depending on overdraft. That is beautiful. It's a good place to start. But what we did was to give ourselves a plan. Do you know, within 1 year, we're able to secure our own property. And now, our mortgage repayment on a monthly basis is just £750. So imagine from £1,550, whereby everything I'm spending is gone, nothing to show for it, to moving to £750 with the potential of building equity and having a good positioning with the banking system when I need finance for a bigger project. So can you see the difference by where did it start from? It started by seeing that number. And that's why I also recommend this app for you guys called Snoop, S-N-O-O-P. Please download it. Attach your bank, especially the one where money is flowing in all your bills. Beyond the fact that it will show you how much you have spent in several things, it's going to also help you to know if you have something enough to take care of your next monthly expenses. Why is all these things important? It's important. Why? Because it gives you a good overview of where you are, so that we stop living pseudo life on overdraft and credit card for several years, building nothing to our name. You see why it also starts becoming difficult for people to move from where they are. Snoop, yeah, you're correct. To move from where they are to a bigger place of opportunity. Why? Because they're already encumbered with debt. Surrounded with debt, surrounded with many things that is already shrinking them from possibilities in their life. Not because they are not strong, not because they are not agile, but because the way they've structured their life, it will be difficult to really have a living here in this country. So we spoke about budgeting and creating a financial system. How do you create systems? Please don't subject your correction of your leakages to your emotion. You have to create a system that can counter it. And I say this, you have to use the same model many of the corporations do. It's easy for money to flow in, but always difficult for money to flow out. In other words, make it easy for money to come in. Many of your companies, how do money come in? Just one bank account. Payment can be made in. But for money to go out, there will be auditing. There are budgeting systems. There are ways in which they create check and balance. Do we really need to spend it? If we spend it, the financial team is looking at, okay, what's going to be on our bottom line? Is this part of the budget we projected for this year? So you find that they don't just spend money. For instance, I remember when I was working as a digital marketing manager for one of the big logistics firms that before I resigned, we needed to employ somebody into our department. But when I had the conversation with my director, can I say, sorry, it wasn't in our budget. Not that there's no money in the company, but it wasn't in our budget. Why? Because you will be shocked if you create a system whereby money can easily flow in and flow out without a controlled system. Guy, you will be shocked what the end of the month will be like. Some of you, if you go to your account and see how much has gone to Nigeria through Lemfi, you are earning 1,800, you are sending 400 to Nigeria. Nobody needs to tell you that you are creating disaster and constraint for yourself when it comes to finance. That's how many percent of your monthly earning. You don't have a savings. You are not building anything back in Nigeria. So you need to sit down, because we can keep blaming the system for all we care. But before we do that, the one within our control, how can we create a system that gives us efficiency? Guys, this is part of what I was able to do, in addition to many things, that I never needed to use overdraft all through last year. Never needed to use a credit card all through last year, because it's doable. It's doable. So I don't need to jump on a car finance of 23,000 pounds. When you know you are a carer and your annual salary is 23,000 or 24,000, you are jumping on a car finance. And you know the danger of that thing is the fact that you have to keep praying that you don't lose your job. That is when you know that there's major issue. I say, for me, I don't want to look like I'm doing well. I want to know I am doing well. I'm not living life for social media or for many people to see what guys, how many of you can remember the clothes I wore 3 days ago? How many of you can remember? So we have to really sit down and ask ourselves. We can't be doing the same thing the same way. Expect a God. This is the definition of insanity. If you want something to change, if you want situation to change, how are you going to position yourself to have the kind of life you came here to settle for? Or will you keep waiting on immigration or allowing the system to encumber you in a way whereby you that had 18 years experience before you came from Nigeria in whatever field, skill, or discipline you are doing, suddenly you came into the system and you look like a weakling. You look like you couldn't do much. And I'm saying, don't sit down waiting for the system to hand over to you what you came here to look for. Don't sit down waiting for the system to hand over to you what you came here to look for. And this is why financial education matters. This is why insight, understanding what is happening, matters. Guys, we'll be talking about investment today, but I needed to remind us where we started from. And I said something. The moment you can sit down and create something that can bring 10% minimum, 10% of your monthly salary from another stream, I'll start clapping for you. What are you doing? You are creating what the system most likely will never want you to have. The ability to have options. The ability to create something that nobody can fire you from. The ability to create something that cannot limit how much you can grow. The ability to create something. The moment you start creating that option for yourself, you're already understanding that you take yourself responsible for your outcome. So it's important for us to sit down and do all those things. And we started, and the next conversation I had was talking about, then what should be your projection or your movement from where you are? Yes, all of us came in, we have to do 9 to 5. We have to do warehouse job. We have to do care job and all this stuff. How can I maximize all of this phase and keep making sure that my journey is in a serious step of progress? We started as an employee, right? I did the first quadrant for you. I will go to my board very soon. I did the first quadrant. You're an employee. What are the limitations of employment? Number one, your salary is pegged. Like I was working in the corporate space. The highest we'll get as an increment of salary is £3, 30% rather, in a year. So imagine earning 50k per annum, and you work very hard that year in that organization. And at the end of 365 days, they gave you a 3% increment. That means the maximum that could count on your salary that year was just £1,500. I don't want to go through the pain of dividing it into 12 months so that you can know what it will add as increment on your salary at the end of 12 months. So you find out that it has created a peg on how much can ever come into your hand. Why? Because you are depending on salary. That's number one. Number two, from a tax perspective, the more you earn, the more you pay. So the reward for earning more, the reward for hard working is paying more. If I move from a 50k salary to a 70k salary, suddenly I have moved from just 20% basic, and I'm going to be adding another additional 40% basic on what I'm earning, on what I'm paying as tax. So you have to sit down and ask yourself, this is good. Number one, how can I maximize it? Let me turn to my board so that we can start this conversation from where I think I'm already in the flow right now. Guys, if you are joining me for the first time, my name is Jidene. I am your favorite financial educator here on TikTok. And I like talking to my people of my color here in the diaspora, so that you can maximize the opportunity around you and understand how to position yourself so that you don't keep doing the same thing the same way and claiming that it is because I have to do another 14 years before I can get it. You are not Jacob, you are not marrying Rachel, so you don't need to wait 14 years. So that TikTok does not tell me that I have 5 minutes more in this my stream. Please, I want engagement so that TikTok will know that there's something engaging going on. So just like, tap. I don't ask for coin. The best you can give me is just drop an at me. Click on that love sign, drop an at me so that TikTok will know that we have engagement here. You're welcome. But one thing I can promise you is this will be one of the best streams you have ever seen. Welcome. Back to our conversation. I'll turn my board now so that we can continue the conversation from there. All right, yeah, I believe you can see my board, guys. Can you see my board? You're welcome, Femi. You're welcome. Engagement, please. Can you see my board? I need that communication, a feedback from you. Awesome. So I told you when we're talking about the journey, the quadrant journey. You're welcome. This is why I'm here. I said every one of us will come in, and this is where we'll start from. As an employee, which there is nothing wrong with it. At least you must start from here because you are paying your bills. So when I came into this country, I started from here as a Tesco warehouse worker. After a while, I moved to O2 Arena as a cleaner. After a while, I moved to a car factory, a car warehouse, helping them to pack parts. After a while, I moved to Amazon. After a while, I became a digital marketing executive for one of the big logistics firms. After 4 months, they promoted me from an executive to a manager. So you find out that this place is practically where every one of us will start with, and there is nothing wrong with it. However, you have to pay attention to the fact that would this take you close to the kind of life you came to UK to settle for? Will this take you close to the kind of thing you came here to settle for? If the answer is yes, continue. If the answer is no, then you have to sit down and ask yourself, what else can we do? So you find out that this place created a limitation on how much you can earn, right? This place, from a tax perspective, you are paying more. This place, from government, is always happy. The larger people we can have here, from a governmental point of view, the better it is for every system. However, remember I said it's not so much of how much you are making. It is so much of how much you are keeping at the long run. Guys, please share it with your friend. Share this live stream with your friend. Share it, husband, share with your wife. Or wife, share with your husband. We need to have this conversation. Then what's your aim? Your aim is to move gradually and ask yourself, how can I move to this second quadrant? What is in this second quadrant? What we call here in the UK, self-employed. You know what this quadrant, some of us call it side hustle. You have things you are offering. Some of us have things we are selling as affiliates on TikTok. Some of us have products we are selling. Some of us have cake. We make cake. We are into confectionery. So this place, what it runs by is what I call value. You are only paid in this space for the problem you are solving. Value equals money. In this place, you are also giving value. Don't forget, that's why they employed you. The moment you start giving less value, what is going to come? HR will write letter to you. And you know what it means? Exit is coming. So this place, you are adding value. However, the value cannot maximize your income. And I'm saying that, do you know when you get to this space, what really start happening is the limitation on what can come to your pockets every month, every year is removed gradually. Nobody in the UK is here without a potential ability to add value. And that's why I say you have to start asking yourself, what is the problem that I can create solution for? That people will be willing to exchange money for it. What is the skill set? What is the experience? You know, we had any idea yesterday, and it was talking about the 4 ways in which people can start identifying this. Number 1, your passion. What is that thing you are passionate about, that you have the ability to create solution to people from it? Number 1. Number 2, your privilege. What are the access you have? Being an intermediary between Nigeria and the UK, what are the business opportunities that flow between these 2 borders, and how can I connect myself to it? Number 3, your problems. Many of us have gone through problems that you have been able to create solution to it. You have been able to solve it in one way. But do you know that there are also most likely another 100 people going through that same pain point, that problem, that is looking and willing for somebody to hold their hand, to show them how they can solve that problem without going through the experience of this pain? The 4th one he talked about was opportunity. So this thing here becomes the opportunity or the instrument through which you can offer value. People don't give money in this country because they like you. People give money because of the problem you are solving. Look at every money you are spending. There is a problem they are solving. There is a need they are meeting. By extension, some of them, there is a want that they are offering solution to. So the moment you sit down and stop depending on this alone and ask yourself, what is the value that I can bring? Guys, it's shocking that if you go to TikTok shop and look for aboniki, you will be shocked you will see aboniki. You will be pretty shocked that you will see aboniki. I've seen suya, all this dry suya, I have seen it on TikTok shop. Why? Because somebody has been able to identify that there are certain immigrants that came into the UK who in their home country used to experience this kind of feeding or this kind of products. How can I be the bridge so that they can still experience the same thing without having to go back to Africa? And they are willing to pay me for it. Guys, the moment you understand this, you remove the cap from your potential earnings. Guys, for me, last year, this place was able to give me more than my 9-to-5 salary in a year. And I was working as a digital marketing manager for a big logistics firm in the UK. So I'm not earning something small. But do you know what the potential of this place can become? When you stop waiting for the system and ask yourself, I was in Nigeria, I was a confectionery, I was baking, I was into fashion designing, I was into this. Are there people in the UK who are in need for this? How can I maximize this opportunity and move from just depending on £12 per hour to creating a system that can give you your own £50 per hour if you want to charge paper, if you want to qualify yourself by per hour? Can you see why it's important for you to start thinking not only this place? Why? Because this place starts giving you what I call control. It might not give you the entirety of the kind of life you look for, but you find out that suddenly you don't need to depend on overdraft again that you were depending on here. Why? Because you have removed the cap, the limit on how much you can make. But do you know, from a tax perspective, as far as government is concerned, self-employed, employed, you are still the same thing from HMRC point of view. Why? There is still employed in your name. So if in this place you were earning £40,000 per annum, and this place was able to create another £30,000 for you, do you know that as far as HMRC is concerned, they will tax you based on 70K? Why? Because it's also another employment in their own eyes. So what do I usually say? The moment you identify this, somebody said, I am the main applicant. If you have a dependent, then these things should not be an issue for you. I won't say more than that on the live stream. On the live stream. All right. So what do you start paying attention to? Why? Because it's not so much of how much you make. It is how much you keep at the long run. Mary T, how are you doing? How's Canada today? So what do you do? There is what we call a trading allowance. When you make money from another stream outside your 9 to 5, there's a trading allowance. Trading allowance means the moment you don't make up to this amount, government is not expecting you to pay tax. But the moment you make beyond that particular amount, government is expecting you to pay tax. And for us in the UK, it is £1,000 in one tax year. That means within one tax year, if you make more than £1,000 outside your salary, you are expected to pay tax. So what do I say? Because the major thing is not about making more. It's about how much more can I keep. It's to ask yourself, I've created this value. I've seen return. And this is why I say, if you start making £1,000 from it regularly on a monthly basis, think of protecting that money. If not, the same money you are making will become a burden to you from an HMRC perspective. What should be the goal? How can I protect that money? I move into this third quadrant, which we call the business owner. Remember, this thing already has a track record of results. It's producing regularly. So it's not something that you are still trying to see. In a year, you have seen that this guy has been producing consistently. Protecting the money is the next thing. Now, I like to explain with a cash flow. I like using this cash flow a lot so that many of us will have a good insight into what I mean. This cash flow system. For an employee or a self-employed person, this is how cash flows from your hand, especially for an employee. Salary, right? They told you it is 40K per annum. Before the money gets into your hand, there is a middleman called tax. This man will not wait for this money to touch your hand before he dip his hand into your purse legally. Then after taking his own tax, what is left is your real income. So if you are going for a job and they say the salary is £40,000 per annum, please, it doesn't mean that what you will be making at the end of the month is £40,000. Why? Because this is the cash flow system for an employee. While the second one, who is a business owner. This guy has a business that also made a sale of 40,000 in the same year, the same way this guy did, right? The first thing is it removes what is called cost of doing business. Number one, cost of doing business is the first thing that is deducted. So from any sales he makes, this cost is the first thing. Then the second thing, we talk about profit, because it's only taxed based on the profit he declares. Then the third thing is tax. Guys, when I say it's not so much about how much you make, it is at the long run how much you keep. Do you know that this guy that sold and made 40K in that year, if he has a very good structure and a very good accountant, his own salary is a cost for running business. Do you know from that same salary, he can structure it in a way whereby it will not be paying tax? Why? Because there's also a tax allowance called 12,570. So even though it's a cost of business, but from a personal perspective, it is tax-free from it. You, as an employee, to buy a car, you are not buying a car from your salary. You are buying a car from your income. Don't forget to income. No, the tax man would have done all his deduction. It is what is left that from there you are going to buy a car, right? Beautiful. This business guy, cost of doing business, car purchase. You, after buying the car, it is still from your salary that you are going to pay insurance on a monthly basis. Cost of doing business, insurance. It is from this same salary that you do servicing and every other tax that you pay. For this guy, it is still part of cost of doing business. So this guy, at the long run, depending on his structure, would have profit of negative at the end of the month. Negative. Negative. Guys, you know that you are taxed on your profit as a business owner. Let's assume that he's a good and diligent person and he declare profit of 5,000 pounds. Guys, you need to go to company house and go and see people's balance sheet. You will see negative, 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 negative. Guys, I don't know. Maybe you came here to work so that you can, be doing this more. But I know why I came to the UK. All right. So this guy is paying 5K, right? Made 5K at the end of the month as profit. You made 40K. Before the 40K got to your hand, after your allowance, they've smashed you 20% tax. This guy will be paying 19% corporate tax out of 5K. Can you see why I said the moment you move out of this place into this place and you start understanding or have a value system that is churning or generating money, you have to ask yourself, how can I start moving to this bracket? Guys, everything I'm talking here is not a financial advice. It's for educational purpose. So we had conversation yesterday with Henry on how can you start moving to this place. It was an awesome conversation. I'll be loading it on my YouTube channel for anybody who missed it yesterday so that you can watch it. But today, this is where I'm focusing on investing, being an investor. Now, the beauty of this place, especially for those of us in the UK, this is one of our edge, no matter where you find yourself. As an employee, you can plug into this. As a self-employed, you can plug into this. As a business owner, you can plug into this. What I want us to understand about this place is another thing here. Remember the cash flow. Employee, salary, tax, income, business owner, cost, profit, tax. For an investor, how is it, especially for those of us in the UK? If you jump on what we call the ISA system here in this country, and you put in your investments into a system, let's assume that investment at the end of the year, tax year, was able to generate for you £5,000 in return. Government is saying, because you are an investor who is jumping on this vehicle, your tax will be equal to 0. Can you see when I say it's not so much of how much you make? At the long run, it's so much of how much you keep. This is why I'm also forced to talk about this part that many of us are sleeping on in the UK. So we are looking at, I am an employee now. I have not started something that is generating more money. Whatever is coming from me, how can I plug into a system
so that it's also giving me the advantage, even though I'm still trying to create my pathway. And this is why we are having this conversation today. Guys, this will be one of the easiest investment section, class, or education that you've ever experienced anywhere in the world. Trust me, there will be no jargons. Breaking it down and making it as simple as possible. All right. Now, like I said, primarily for those of us in the UK, there is something we call the ISA system. Right? What is the ISA system? It's simply called an individual savings account. Now, the government itself created it and said whatever you put into it in a tax year, you can put as high as this amount in a tax year. And whatever this amount generates is going to be tax free. So it's saying that no matter what you put here, if you like, let that thing generate 100% more, you are not going to be taxed on it. While if I am an employee, from the moment I start making salary, 20% basic, if I earn more, 45% will be on it. If I'm a business person, I'll be paying corporate tax of minimum of 19%. While it's saying to me that if I jump on this particular vehicle, yes, I can make money, but the money is protected from a tax perspective. Now, I'm going to explain the different kind of ISA so that we can see what are the different ones. Which one do you still qualify for? How can you position yourself in this thing while you are creating your journey, so that you are not only depending on 9 to 5 as your only stream of growth or of wealth creation in the UK. The first one, which many of us know as lifetime ISA, or what we call LISA. Lifetime ISA. What is lifetime ISA? Lifetime ISA, like the name applies, primarily is a system whereby you can put money into it and you can have the potential of having tax-free return. But there are two criteria that you can only use it for. Number one, if you want to buy a house in the UK for the first time, so you are a first-time buyer, and the house you want to buy is less than £430,000. If you be first-time buyer, where you go to buy a house for more than £430,000, I want to ask you, say na your retirement home you dey buy. It's for a first-time buyer, you can take advantage of this lifetime ISA. The second people that can take advantage of it is, I don't want to use it now, but I want to keep it until retirement. So in other words, no matter what I put into this and it generates and money for me, is that I want to use it for house purchase or I want to keep it till retirement. That's number one. Number two, there are several clauses to this that we need to also know. Number one, you have to be between the age of 18 and 39.99 years before you can create this account. So if I am more than 40 years or I'm 40 years, I am not qualified to jump on a lifetime ISA. If I am less than 17 years, I am not qualified to jump on a lifetime ISA. So for anybody who has the goal of buying a house in this country, or you just want to keep it till when you retire, and you are less than 40, this one is for you. Many of us, someone like me, I don't miss this bus, Tete. Now, what is the government saying will be the return system of this? Government is saying within a tax year. Guys, tax year in the UK is not January to December. Tax year in the UK is from 6th April this year to 5th April next year. So it is April to April. It is not January to December. Let's move this thing up a little bit. All right. It's not January to December. It is April to April. That's number one. Number two, government is saying that you have opportunity to put a maximum of £4,000 into this thing. But whatever you put, even if it's less than 4,000, but to the maximum of £4,000, you will get 25% return in it. So it's saying that if I put £1,000, all I will get within a tax year is £250 in return. While if I put £4,000 in it, I can get £1,000 in return. That's 25% return. 25% return. If I put £5,000 in it, the only return I will get will be on the 4,000, while the 1,000 is just contribution. It's not counting to any end. So if I have the aim of buying house in the UK, I am less than 40-year-old, and I want to take advantage of this opportunity. It means in a tax year, my 4K would have produced additional one, and I would have £5,000 towards my house purchase in the next year. I can do this. Imagine you are a couple. My wife also doing her own. That means in the tax year, we have another £5,000, which means we have £2,000 free from the government towards this purpose of purchase. Jide, can I put money there? And before purchasing or do anything, can I just withdraw it after government has paid me the £1,000 as a Sadiq that I am? The answer is called no. The moment you do it, number one, government will take back their £1,000. The 4,000 you put there, they'll put a fee on it. So in other words, you will be losing money. So don't keep it there because you want to be smart as a Sadiq and you want to swindle government. It will not work. Maybe it can work where you are coming from, but in this country, it will not work. But this is a simple system whereby a couple can get 2K free of that. Guys, do you know what it means to get 2K? But another point I want you to pay attention to, so it is possible in this country to have a system that can pay you 25%. It is possible. It is possible. I just want to say that so that somebody can hold it. So I've told you that if you are less than 40, you want to buy a house in this country, you can jump on the system and get free money from the government to the tune of 25% every tax year. Any question before I move forward? Any question? Or rather, the question is, hope it is clear. So if you are less than 40, please go and open this thing tonight. You don't need to have 4K that you want to drop. You can even drop as low as £5, £10 or £100. But the thing is, make sure you open it before you are 40. When do you take back your £44? No, it's no longer £4 again. It's now becoming £5, 5,000 to you. You can only take it. Let's assume now I want to buy my house. Maybe next year I want to buy my house. Remember, if you don't put it for more than a year, you cannot take advantage of that 1,000 within tax year. You won't take advantage of it. Guys, it's so crazy that if the tax year is going to end April 5th, and I know I want to buy a house next year, it's so crazy that if I put £4,000, but you must have opened the accounts before. If I put the £4,000 April 3rd, I'll still get my 1,000. Why? Between that year, you have to put that money to get it. How do you get it out? You get it out when it is time for you to do your house purchase. You know, we have what we call your deposit for your house. So for you to deposit for your house, is either you have your salary that you have been saving month on month until it becomes the 10% that you want to use to buy your house, or you have taken advantage of this system. So in addition to money coming from your salary, you have added this to what you want to use as your down payment. Now, the other question is, let me see, I think I saw another question. It's not cash ISA, it's lifetime ISA. What if you cannot save 4K? Yes, even if it's 1K, you are saving. So you'll be getting 25% of your 1K. But like I said, you have planned to buy house in the UK, then you must be on a very, very strong saving culture. Very strong saving habit if you want to buy house. So that's why it's only very good for those who want to buy house primarily. This is how I see it, primarily. I think there's one more question. So where can I open a lifetime ISA account? Number one, most of your mainstream banks, they have a lifetime account feature or product on them. Another one, I think it is it Moneybox? I think Moneybox also have that opportunity for you to open it. In fact, for this one, I can tell you, walk into any of your, or check into any of your mainstream bank app. There will be that offer within many of your bank app. What of people who are above 40? This one is out of your league. So we've spoken about the lifetime ISA. The second one we want to talk about will start applying to people above that age of 40. The second kind of ISA is what we call the cash ISA. Right? Cash ISA. Cash ISA, number one, to open this, you must be a minimum of 18 years. But I've not seen any restriction to the age. Now, how does this one work? This one works in a way whereby there is something we call the interest rate of the Bank of England, BOE. So this is the rate they put on what people can charge, or what people can, banks, especially lending bodies, can charge if they want to borrow money. I'm just trying to make it basic. There are many other things that this thing affects. So what you'll be earning as interest from your cash ISA is basically benchmarked against what is the Bank of England interest rate. Can I fund ISA from Nigeria? No, you have to be in the UK. You have to be you have to be resident in the UK. All right. So it's basically benchmarked against the interest rate of Bank of England. So if Bank of England interest rate, for instance, is 3.5%, then any service user you are using that is giving you ISA can never pay you above this amount. If not, they are running at a loss. And please remember, the reason why these lending bodies and this bank was set up is not for charity, it's to make money. And that is another reason why we find out that your interest rate for your ISA is never fixed many of the time, because it fluctuates based on the interest rates. In a year, Bank of England usually changes it between 2 or 3 times in a year. What of people living in Spain? I cannot tell. For ISA, I cannot. But there's one I can tell for. We'll get to the third one where I can tell for the one of no matter where you are staying. We'll talk about the third one that will cover you. Now, so if you look at this, and for instance, I think Trading 212, I don't know, many of you that you are using Cash ISA gang, please, what is your current interest rate on your Cash ISA? What do you have as your interest rate, guys? Comment section. Comment section, guys. What's your interest rate currently? What's your interest rate? Interest rate, guys, 3.75. See, as we all they do, as if we know they do Cash ISA. 3.75. Somebody said his own is 4%. So what the Cash ISA system is saying, that whatever you put into the Cash ISA system they are going to give you 3.75%, depending on the one you are using, per annum, or 4% per annum. It means that if you put money in it, let's assume you put £1,000 in it, at the end of the tax year, though you can get it, what they do is now they'll now break this 4%, what do we call it, 4% into 365 days. So whatever you have in it per day will be calculated based on what is the correct percentage that qualifies for that day. But to make the calculation very easy, it means that if I put £1,000 into this cash ISA system, whatever I earn as interest is tax free. So I am much more better putting my £1,000 inside cash ISA than putting it into my bank account, sitting there doing nothing. Why? Because the money is not working for me. So you find out that I wonder when I see people that has £8,000 in their bank account, sitting down looking at their face, and they are happy. Their joy is, I have £8,000, but unfortunately the money is not working. I want to remind you that there is something we call inflation. Your work is to make sure that whatever you are doing, you are hedging your money against inflation. At least that's the minimum you must do, the barest minimum, hedging it against inflation. Inflation means 2-3 months ago, we were able to get a keg of milk for £1. But because of economic situation now, I have to pay £1.20 to get that same keg of milk. It means what my £1 could buy 2 months ago, it cannot buy the same thing again. Why? Because inflation has set in. So it means the value of my money is depreciating because of inflation. So if I just put my money in savings account, number one, the fact you are saving, I need to clap for you. You are doing better than many immigrants. Let me turn my face so that you can see my face and hear this one clearly. Your money does not grow because you are saving. Your money does not increase because you are saving. Your money only grows because it has the potential of going out to reproduce itself. Remember, I taught during our class of liability against assets. Asset is more than money. Money can make you rich. But wealth is created by creating system whereby you can reproduce that money again and again and again. So you have £8,000 in your savings account, you are £8,000 rich. But when it comes to wealth creation, you don't have a system whereby that £8,000 can go out and produce more. So in other words, as regards inflation, as far as inflation is concerned, your money is going down. I will answer your questions. Let me break it down. Now let's do a quick calculation. I was able to work hard because I've heard Jide saying I can't put my money in the savings account. I was able to work very hard and I wanted to be saving so that I can build wealth, right? And I now save £1,000 into cash ISA. And £1,000 cash ISA say is going to give me 4% return. Guys, what is 4% return of £1,000? £1,000 into the cash ISA at 4% per annum. How much should I be expecting from my £1,000? Or what is the potential of what my £1,000 can produce? Let's do the calculation, guys. So my £1,000 would have generated for me £40. Right? Do we all agree it's £40? Okay, I just want to be sure somebody will not say it's £400. So we all know that your cash ISA with £1,000 will generate £40 for you within a tax year. I'd like you to look at my face again as we talk about this one. So it means you have worked very hard, denied yourself of luxury, of having some fledgling life, and you have now plugged your £1,000 into a cash ISA, and the £1,000 has gone to work very hard, and in 365 days, the best your £1,000 could generate is £40. So money box has written back to you that do you know you fall within the bracket of just the 30% of people in the UK who are saving and investing. And because you have been so diligent and loyal, you've been able to put £1,000 aside. And we are happy to tell you that your £1,000 has produced a whopping £40. That is smart investment. So you mean the best your £1,000 could have done in 365 days is £40. While the person that you gave the money to has borrowed Felicia at 8%, Felicia has paid back, has used portion of it for overdraft has paid back. And when the money, let's assume all your money, say your money no go sit down for bank, they look up. You're giving it in form of credit card to that bro that says without credit card his life cannot be good, and has given him a 24% APR. 24% APR. And I said you have been so diligent and we have used your money to work smart, and we are willing to pay you back for the money you brought into the system. £40 at the end of the year. I don't need to tell you that if you want to buy a house in Banana Island, you might need to wait till you are 200 years before you can buy it. And you see that in as much as it is good, but you must also understand that it is not the best. Somebody said that wickedness, and that is the pure truth. You'll be shocked how much people are putting into cash ISA in this country. They've put so much that government is going to peg it from next year how much you can put into cash ISA. Remember I said you have £20,000 maximum under your entire ISA portfolio. You will see people who are putting £20,000 into cash ISA just for 4%. You know what government is now doing? Government has jacked it down, or will be jacking it down to £12,000 maximum for your cash ISA. The remaining £8,000 you must look for somewhere else to put it, any other ISA, but it cannot be in cash ISA. But still, many people are jumping on it that this is a smarter way of making your money work for you. You see why we need to have that conversation. Now, I will respond to some of the questions concerning ISA. Cash ISA gang, I just say make I greet you now. Somebody asked, I already have a lifetime ISA. Do I need to open a cash ISA? Yes. There are two different accounts, so you can open the two. Guys, you see why I'm talking about smart financial move? And just not sitting down and working with the system, and expecting the kind of life you are looking for. Somebody said it is not smart, and that is the truth. That can never be a smart way of building the kind of life you came here to look for. All right, so we've spoken about cash ISA. I hope those who have ears, they have heard, but I've not said anything. I've not told you to remove anything. I'm just educating you so that you can make sure that your money is working hard for you. There's a third kind of ISA, which is where we are going to be focusing on tonight. The third kind of ISA is called the stocks and shares ISA. Respect. You're asking what's the way forward. The way forward is to remove your money now if you want to. The third kind of ISA is called the stocks and shares ISA. This is an ISA that government is saying if you put your money into the stock market using the ISA umbrella into the stock market, no matter what your money generates from you, remember you have a 20,000 limit that you can put into your ISA, right? No matter what your money generates for you. So let's assume this guy was able to generate 2,000 pounds, right? In a tax year, which is 10%, right? Guys, if you have any investment that is doing less than 10%, please go and think twice. Very important. All right, so that is generating 2,000 pounds. The government is saying, number one, because you are using the ISA bracket, this your 2,000 pounds is tax free for you. While if I use this my same 20k to do business and generate return, the moment it is more than 1,000 pounds, which is my trading allowance, government is saying I have to pay tax. So the question is, how can we jump on this vehicle and maximize it so that even though we are still employees working for money, I can plug myself into this allowance called ISA using the stock and shares variation of it. So many of us don't even know that we have something that can save us tax in this country within a year if you use it, 20,000 pounds. So we'll be talking about the stocks and share today, and I want to break it down. I want to make it as simple as possible so that people can understand it and know how to jump on it. I want to open my own Trading 212 account and show you what my return was like just within 1 year. And trust me, I'm not going to show you the figure. All right, so got it. This is my Trading 212. This is 47% maximum. Just 1 year, it gave me 42.9% return. This year till date, I have 13% return. You see, when I say something that anything you are doing that cannot give you more than 10% return, guy, you are wasting your money. I'm being honest with you. In the past 3 months, it has given me 15% return. In 1 month, I have 14% return. Overall, it has been 47% return. And like I mentioned, let's assume everything I put there is 10k, and it gave me 40% return, which is 4,000 pounds. This is completely tax-free. Completely tax-free. And guys, this thing is not difficult to understand. If you want me to break it down and explain or teach it to you, let me know in the comment section so I no go waste our time, because somebody has asked what's the way forward. We are now talking about the way forward. If you want us to have that conversation, I can continue. If not, we can come and continue our aspire to perspire so that we can maguire. All right, beautiful. So I'll start by talking about, many of us would have heard shares, would have had stock. What does it mean? No, you are not paying tax on stocks. So as long as you are using the ISA, you will not, and never, ever, 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 ever. And why? Because they themselves, now there they chop. They have practically put tax on everything. The only thing they've not touched is this guy. Even when they touch him, they touch only cash ISA. But this one, stocks and shares, no hand, don't touch them because they are also eating from there. So you've heard about stock. Many of us have heard about shares. What does all these things mean? Guys, please listen more first. Don't be quick to ask questions. You have asked what's the way forward. Now we're talking about it. Listen, I beg, listen. Husband, share with your wife. Wife, share with your husband. I'll continue from here. All right. So we talk about stock. What in this thing really mean? And I would like to use practical examples so that you can understand. How many of you know Apple? The company Apple. Those one will create iPhone, iMac, all this your Apple Watch and the likes. You know Apple. Please, I will need that your feedback is important. All right. Apple is currently worth over 4 trillion US dollars. Currently, it is worth over 4 trillion US dollars. And the richest man on earth currently is only worth about $500 billion, which is Elon Musk. So that is to tell you that this company called Apple is not owned by one person. It is owned by several people who have bought into the company. Several people, even institutions, individuals who have bought into the company called Apple. That is how they've arrived at this thing we call 4 trillion, which I would like you to identify as their market cap, market capitalization. That is what they are worth in the market now. $4 trillion. Now, what is stock? Stock in a very simple way simply means the way we define ownership into a company. Guys, this is not university textbook jargon. We are not doing thesis. We'll make it as simple. Stock simply means ownership into a company. Owning a portion of a company. Then you become a stockholder. So, like I told you, this $4 trillion, which is the worth of this Apple company, is not owned by one person. So we have Josie as a portion. We have Ada as a portion. We have Shade as a portion. Stock simply means ownership into a company. Is it clear, my people? If it is clear, put 1 in the comment section if it is clear. 1 in the comment section if it is clear. Beautiful. I just need 1. Immediately I can see 5 people putting 1. Then I know that it's clear and people are listening. It simply means ownership into a company. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. We have a new word. Shares. Shares, which many of us are used to. What is shares? Now, imagine this company is owned by several people. Ada, you know this company is a US company, right? Ada is based in the US. Shade is based in Japan. Josie is based in somewhere in Africa. No. Josie na big girl. Man, no put her for Africa. Josie is based in Canada. Number 1, the currency in which they work with differ from all these countries, even though they all own in this thing called Apple company. Remember, or just let me use this easy example so that you can understand. You want to sew cloth in Nigeria, you are in the UK. Your tailor will tell you, take a tape rule, measure your arm, measure your breast area, measure your leg, measure your waist, send it to me. Even though the person is in Nigeria, But because what the person is using as a means of measurement is a standard instrument, the same measurement the person will get in Nigeria will be the same measurement the person will get in UK. So because it's a standard system of measuring, you cannot get a different result even if you go and measure it in Togo, as long as you are using what is the standard, which is a meter rule. So because of that, it makes that thing a globally accepted way of measuring anything anywhere in the world. So also is this. This is what I own, Jide. This is what Ada own. This is what Josie own. This is what Shade own. How can we know what is the worth of this thing that is owned by me? How can we know what is the worth of the one Ade owns? We have to create a universal system of measuring. And that is why I like to call shares as the SI unit for stock. I'll make it simple again. Remember, for those of us who came from Nigeria, when Zenith Bank will want to do IPO, that means they want to raise money to build their business. They go to the stock market and say, we have 5 billion units of shares that we want to sell. That 5 billion units of shares will give it at 5 naira per share. It simply means that if I want to own this portion, let's assume this stock portion is 100 units. My own is not, I'm not interested primarily in the number of units. Why? Because I am an investor. I'm interested in the monetary value of it. But because they've told me that it is 5 naira or 5 pounds per unit, I can look and say this 100 that I bought, the monetary worth will be 100 times 5, which means I have spent 500, either naira or pounds, to acquire this. Now I can know there is a monetary value. Why? Because there's a unit price to one of the individual units of this stock. So no matter where I am in the whole world, as long as I can know what is the unit cost in my own currency, then I can know what is the worth of what I am buying. Remember, I did not buy into it because I'm interested in the stock. I'm interested in the monetary value that I can get from it. So I will say shares is the way you can measure the worth of your stock. Without knowing the unit of the shares, you cannot tell me what is the worth of this. So all these $4 trillion that I mentioned here, it was accomplished by, I know what this man has. He has 1 million units of shares of stock, 1 million units of stock. I ask myself, what is the unit price of that shares? I can say, oh, so out of the $4 trillion, this man owns $5 million worth of shares. So there's no way I can know the worth of my stock without introducing what we call shares. Guys, if this is clear to this point, put 2 in the comment section. 2 in the comment section. So I cannot be talking about the worth of my stock without knowing the unit cost of the shares. Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome, guys. Awesome. 2 things I want to break down here. Number 1, for those who always say, what is even you are investing into? Are you sure they are not carrying your money away? When you invest in the stock market, you are investing into a real company. Forget the technology behind this. The technology is just making it closer to you. You are investing into a real company. Guys, there's a restriction from TikTok on my stream. So they cannot share it. It cannot put it into FYP. So please share it with people you know so that we can get the number high. That's why the number has dropped. I don't know why they put a restriction. But let's continue. It will not stop me from what I'm teaching. So it is behind a real company. It is not CBEX. It is not MMM. So when you are investing into shares, you are investing into a real company. You are owning a portion of a real company. I hope somebody gets that clear. Thank you, Josie, for sharing. Thank you. Now, I have explained what is a stock. I have explained what is a shares. Now, how do people gain or lose money by putting their money into the stock market? We are getting closer to it gradually. Remember the company we are using as an example, Apple, right? Apple said they want to produce or release another new phone called iPhone 18 Pro Max. iPhone 18 Pro Max. How many of you are happy already? iPhone gang. iPhone 18 Pro Max. Some of you are already asking yourself, which company can finance it for me? I just want to say something. On behalf of we shareholders, we want to say thank you so much. Thank you for always making us richer. You are willing to buy an iPhone, but you don't have a unit shares in the same technology that you believe in. I say thank you. God bless. Both laugh. I just say that I throw banter small as I continue my teaching. Somebody say, I believe say a word is enough for the wise. All right, so they said they want to produce iPhone 18 Pro. And they've done their calculation that they will be producing 2 million units of iPhone 18 Pro. Remember, I told you the market capitalization is $4 trillion, right? $4 trillion. And they've done their projection that if we're able to produce and sell 2 million units of iPhone 18 Pro Max, that we would make a profit of $350 million that we'll share with our investors. It means that with extra 350 waiting be million. We know they calculate million again. We'll put them for billion. Billion means that the worth of this company will grow by an additional $350 billion. Now, what are the different case scenarios that can happen? Remember, I bought 100 units, right? From my previous example, at £5. Means I have how much? I've used £500 to secure my 100 units. What can happen to my money is what we want to talk about now. To produce this phone, they would have to buy different parts. They would have to buy the screen, get the case, get the chip, get many things to create one iPhone, and they are doing 2 million. Let's assume one of the things that they will need for creating the iPhone is a chip. And they have gone to a company in Malaysia to buy the chip. And when they were doing their discussion or their deliberation, they discovered that each chip will cost them $2 per chip. Guys, how many units of this chip do you think they will buy so that they can achieve their 2 million units of iPhone 18 Pro Max that they want to produce? How many units, guys? Comment section. How many units of chips would they need to buy from this Malaysian company to produce 2 million units of iPhone 18 Pro Max? Keep the answers coming, guys. I need 3 more answers, so I can know that I'm not the only one talking to myself. 3 more answers, guys. 3 more. All right, so I've seen 3 answers here. All right, so people here are saying that they would have to buy 2 million units. Thank you for all the answers. Now, let me just bring you back so that you can know that it's a real business. So that we start thinking like business people. If you want to produce mass production and you want to achieve 2 million units, it will be very difficult to buy 2 million units of the chip on the dot. Why? Because there will be damages, there will be factory defaults. So there will be things, and some of them might not just come as expected. So you don't expect them to 2 million units on the spot. If not, they might most likely not hit their 2 million target. So they made up their mind that they'll be buying 2.1 million units. You see, when I say it's behind real business, so we are thinking like somebody wants to make business decision. Do you understand what I've just done? So they cannot buy 2 million units because there will be defects, there will be different things, right? Beautiful. So they've made up their mind that they'll buy 2.1 million units so that plus or minus they will fall into their 2 million iPhone 18 Pro Max. So these 2 million units would have cost them how much in total of chip? How much? That would be 4.2 million dollars is what they will spend on this chip. $4.2 million is what they will spend on the chip, right? Now, they have a president called Donald Trump. You know, the latest fights when they fight now in Iran, right? But before the Iranian war, last year, he did something. He said, any country doing business with the US, remember that Apple is US owned, any country where their own company is doing business with a UK company, that you guys have not been paying the right tariff, that you have been robbing America, that how will you be doing business with US and you'll be paying 22%, 5% tax, while we are the one that is using what you are producing? Because we want to make America great again, we are creating a system whereby your tax will be going up, what we call tariff, custom cost of getting something from one country to another country is called tariff, right? All right, so who will use the word tax? Your tariff tax will be going up. For instance, for Malaysia, instead of you doing 2% as tax for shipping something to US, we are increasing it to 10%. Because we want to make America great again. Guys, do you think this company in Malaysia will still sell its chip at $2? They cannot. They would have to transfer that cost that has increased back to Apple. They will tell them, unfortunately, we cannot sell again to you at $2. Why? Because your government has increased our tax by 5 times what we used to pay. So in other words, what they were paying 2 for, now they have to charge them around 10, because it's times 5, right? That would be 2 times 5. That would be $10 per chip. $10 per chip, which means it will now cost Apple how much? Suddenly, the same thing will cost them $40.42 million to buy the same 2.1 million or 2 million units of chips. So you can see that this has increased their cost of production. Whenever things like this happen, the market would always react. The stock market would always react, which simply means it will chop or it will bite into whatever they have projected as profit. If this thing happen, my unit of shares, which is 100, will still remain as 100. Nothing will happen to it. But what do you think will happen to the value of 1 unit of my shares, of the Apple share? With this high cost of production, do you think that many people will want to buy it? Or do you think the price will drop? What do you think will happen to the unit of the price? Comment section. We are using very real case study, business case study as an example, so that you can understand what is happening behind this thing called stock market. Guys, comment section. Do you think the unit cost value of 1 unit of these shares, do you think it will appreciate or depreciate? Not fully aware that they have more cost for doing business. Will it go up or go down? The unit, will it go up from £5, $5 to $6, or will it drop because of the price? Okay, let me make it down again. Let me use a very simple example. I went to market to buy car. When I was shipping in the car from US to Nigeria, the custom fee before now was 2 million. Now that government has increased the cost of shipping it to Nigeria, do you think many people will want to buy car? Do you think buying car would appreciate or will reduce? Many people will not buy car again because what you were buying for, let's assume 12 million before, has suddenly jumped to 28 million. Why? Because there's increase in cost of custom. So the many people rushing to buying car will reduce. Hence, the market for car will reduce. So it cannot appreciate, it will depreciate because of that economic situation called tariff. So what I add 100 units at $5 will still be 100 units. But because of this trade war that US president has created, many people will not rush into buying this. So because of that, the value will not increase. Let's assume it dropped to $3 per unit of shares. It simply means the total worth of my shares right now will become 300, which means I have lost how much? 200 on the spot based on economic values, economic situation. This is a simple way of explaining when they say people lose in the stock market. It means there are situations or things that happen that made the unit price to tank. Hence, your own value of your own shares is also tanking. Last year, this thing what I just explained, like ABC, last year it dropped. It made Nvidia. Nvidia is this guy that creates chips that they use in many computers. It dropped Nvidia's value by over 500 billion in just a few weeks. Why? Because companies that were supplying Nvidia suddenly increased their price. So many people were removing their hand, and so the company that ought to make profit was not making profit. Now, that is one scenario how people can lose money in the stock market. Guys, all these economics what they explain are just for understanding. We don't get business with this. We as investors, we don't employ people where they think of that one. That's why we have them in the company. They are the one thinking about this thing. It's just for you to understand what is happening from behind. The other way people can make money from the stock market is, remember they are producing iPhone 18 Pro. And they are saying that it will make them $350 billion rich. And we are saying now, Trump did not create any tariff war. Everything went as planned. There was no war, there was nothing happening. So everything went as planned. And they made their $350 billion in profit. Number one, my 100 units will still be 100 units, for example purpose. But what do you think will happen? Do you think the unit price would move from 5 to something higher? Or will it stay at the same? It will move up. Why? Because everybody suddenly is interested. Why? Because Apple is appreciating in value. Apple is making more money. So people are rushing to want to buy. And Apple as a business, suddenly the unit cost of their shares would also appreciate. Hence, It can move to as high as, let's assume it went to 8 pounds per unit. It simply means my same 100 units of shares will now be worth 800 pounds. And I have been able to increase my 500 pounds by 300 pounds in gain. Guys, is this simple to understand? Guys, you don't need to cram this in. I'm just using this example for clarity. If you understand to this point, 3 in the comment section. I have shown you how people can make money and how they can lose money in the stock market. I have shown you that it is behind a real business. It is not kalo. It is not money inside something that you do not know. Also, please, I have still not told you to go and invest in the stock market. Please, whatever I'm sharing here is for educational purpose. Before you put your money in anything, please make sure you are well informed. And that's why I work with the philosophy of you learn before you earn. Okay, let me continue. All right, so I've been able to break down and explain to you stock. I've been able to also explain to you shares. I've used real life example to see how people can make money and how people can lose money from stock market. But still, is this the best way to plug into our stocks and share ISA? The answer is no. Why? Because the same way it has potential to make you money, it has potential to lose you money. So what is the better way? We'll start from there now. Now, I am over 40 years old. I like eating healthy. You're welcome, Donzi. I like eating healthy because of my health. So because of that, I went to my superstore, our store near us, Lido, and I went to buy apple because I love making smoothie. I know they drink fuzzy drink again. I know they drink Pepsi. I know they drink Coke for over 2 years now because I want to live healthy. So I went there to buy apple because I want to make smoothie. Guys, how many kind of smoothie can I make from apple fruits alone? How many different kind of smoothie can I make? Comment section. How many kind? Comment section, guys. How many types of smoothie can I make from apple fruits alone? 1. Thank you. Why? Because it's only one fruit I have there. So I cannot make more than one kind of smoothie. So if I go to this store and I bought 10 apples, gala apples, and by the time I got home, 4 are spoiled, that means I am left with only 6 to make smoothie. So imagine if this is a business. That means I can only have one kind of product, smoothie product. No matter the number of apples I buy, I can only have just one kind of smoothie for my business. That's number 1. Number 2, my business will be impacted based on how many of the apple is damaged. As a great way of impacting my business. So you can see 2 constraints. Number 1, only one kind of product I can create. Number 2, I can only pray that there is no damages, because the moment there is damage, it is already affecting my profitability. That is scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, I went to that same Lidl market and I took their blue baskets. You know those blue baskets now for Lidl. I took one of their Lidl blue baskets and I went to their fruit section. I bought apple. I bought banana. I bought watermelon. My daughter will say it's not watermelon, it is watermelon. You have to pronounce your T. So I bought watermelon. I bought give me another fruit I can buy, guys. Another fruit. Watermelon. I bought give me fruit now. Guys, give me fruit. I know they chop fruit. Thank you. Orange. I bought orange. And I bought tiger nuts because I have one business I want to do. Now only God know why I see tiger nuts. I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kinds of fruits. Guys, I want to do smoothie. How many kind of smoothie can I create out of these 5 fruits? How many types of smoothie can I create from the 5 fruits? Away Factoria. Somebody said 20 and more. Somebody said 7. Beautiful. All of you have a good idea. At least nobody say 1. This says that we are all intelligent and smart. But let me do a simple count so that you can start seeing. I can have apple smoothie, banana smoothie, watermelon smoothie, orange smoothie, tiger nut smoothie differently, right? That's 5. I can have apple banana, apple watermelon, apple orange, apple tiger nuts. You see, I've had another 4, right? I can have apple banana watermelon, apple banana orange, apple banana tiger nuts. You can see it. I can have banana watermelon, banana orange, banana tiger nuts. I can have banana orange watermelon, banana orange tiger nut, banana watermelon tiger nut. Can you see that the number is increasing? But the real amount I can have in total, this is how you calculate it. It's called 5 factorial. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. If you do further maths, you go know this thing. Total. That means I can have a total of 120 different kind of smoothie in just 5 different fruits. So you see, as from a business perspective, this guy that has only 1 apple and this guy that has 5 fruits can create 120 different products. So if I see person wey no like apple, he go like banana. There's just one combination. That means this guy would have potential of making more in sales than this guy that only bought 1. Even if he like, make this guy buy 1 million units of this. That's number 1. Number 2, if apple, 10 of the apple got spoiled in the process of when you bought it, there's still banana, there's watermelon, there's orange, there's tiger nuts. So there's a limit to how much loss this person will have in a smoothie business compared to this guy that is only 1 product. So you find out that not only does this guy have possibility of making more money, this guy also have less risk in loss because of the fact that he's using 5 different fruits. If you understand to this point, 4 in the comment section, guys. I'm going into real example, business example now. If you understand, 4 in the comment section. You see that understanding stock is not really difficult. Imagine if you had a finance or an economics teacher back in your university that could break it down for you this easy. Imagine what your life could have been 5 years ago if you have used the right vehicle to invest. Imagine. So it's not difficult to understand. You just need a good teacher that can break it down and show you how easy this thing is so that you can comprehend it. Awesome. Now, let me go and use real product examples in the market so that you can understand. Now, this individual good called Apple is what is the same thing as an individual stock or an individual shares. That means you are investing into just one company individually. While this second one, individual, is not what you are investing into. You are investing into a combination of several. It is called what we call index. Index. So while the performance of this guy is determined by the performance of just one product, for this guy, the performance of this guy is determined by the overall performance of what he has inside that particular basket. Now, let me try use real examples. I can go to the stock market and buy an individual shares, an Apple share, or I go and buy Nvidia individual, or I buy Tesla individual, or I buy Amazon individual, or I buy Microsoft individual. They are all real businesses that are sold on the stock market, but I bought them individually. Individually. They are called individual stocks or individual products. As a going into that same stock market and looking for an index. Remember, I introduced that word, index. That within that index, I can find Apple, I can find Nvidia, I can find Tesla, I can find Amazon, and I can find Microsoft. The same example I use for you, from an individual point of view, this guy is exposed to a bigger risk if the market cough, because it's an individual stock. This guy has the potential of major loss depending on how the market responds, compared to this guy whereby the performance is determined by overall performance of the number of instruments. I am introducing a new word, instrument. All these things in the market, we call it instrument. Individual shares, stocks, they are called instruments. So instead of me being judged, or my investment being judged by just one product, they are looking at the overall performance of all the instruments that are inside the box to determine how much my investment will produce. Beyond just producing results, this guy is shielded from more risk than this guy that is putting in individual shares. You see why I will never advise you as a beginner to have your portfolio heavy with individual stocks or individual instruments. Why? You are exposing your risk. It is becoming very high compared to looking for an instrument or a basket that has several different performing instruments in it. Now, I have introduced that word index. Let me start breaking it down. Index simply means a basket. I'm using this basket thing so that you can understand. And what the basket is doing is tracking the performance of companies that are in it to determine the profitability of whoever is investing into it. For instance, many of us would have heard S&P, right? 500. You would have friends who are saying, me, I'm investing in S&P 500. Another person saying, me, I'm investing in NASDAQ. What do they mean? Guys, the moment you understand this, nothing will be bobo in your head again. If you like, when they say that they invest in VVQ, PPQ, MMQ, MMM, anything, you will understand what they simply mean. When we say S&P 500, number one, S&P 500 is an index. And what is the index tracking? The index is tracking the performance of the top 500 US company based on their market capitalization. I'll break it down for you. Remember, I told you that Apple has a market cap or total worth is about 4 trillion. So, what this is simply means is for you to be part of this basket as a company, you must be part of the top 500 companies in the UK. Not in the UK, sorry, in the US. You must be top 500 company in the US. And what would determine the top 500 is their size in the market, their market capitalization. You know what makes this one a little bit good or good in that sense is the fact that number one, you are not just putting anyhow company inside. You are putting the top of the best 500 based on their size in the market. Can you see that number one, you are not just protected with the fact that you are not looking at just one individual company. You are looking at tracking the performance of them in a box. But now, not just one, but 500 of them. Not just anyhow 500, top 500. Can you see that you have not just reduced your risk, but you have also chosen best top 500 to increase your opportunity of return? Guys, if you understand to this point, put 5 in the comment section. We are getting close to the end gradually. 5 in the comment section. 5 in the comment section. If you understand. You see why I say you have to learn before you jump into it, so that you are not buying things you don't know. You are not putting, you hear people say, I'm putting my money in stock. I heard one funny one that somebody said. He said, I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, what are the things I can invest into? I now invest into what ChatGPT said I can invest. Right now, I'm not even sure because I'm very confused where my money is going to and how the money is dropping. Why you could have gotten the right knowledge first, so that you can apply your money, your hard-earned money, in a way to your profits. Guys, I don't need to tell you if you should go and invest in individual stock. You see, when I have challenges, when you go on social media and you are listening, and somebody said, if I have £100, this is how I will divide my £100. I will use £20 to buy Paletia, use £50 on Amazon, use Kiniko on this, and this is how you can start investing. If you want to do, send me a DM for more. The information is good, but the question is, do you even understand what you are doing in the first place? And this is why the knowledge really matters. Once you get the knowledge, that is the biggest power you can have. I'll turn to my board and continue. Just say, make I help somebody. When you see content for social media, the way you go need to look at it should be different now. All right, so I've explained index to you. Globally, there is over 6,000 indexes globally. Over 6,000 indexes globally. So there are indexes that all they are covering is just, okay, we are looking into tech companies based on certain criteria. There are indexes that are saying all we want to cover is just the natural mineral resource, gold, silver, platinum, all those things. Those are the kind of companies that we want to put into that index. There are indexes that are saying all we want to do is just new emerging bio companies. That is all we want within that index. For instance, there is an index called NASDAQ. Many of you have heard NASDAQ 100. Guys, you don't need to cram any of these things I'm saying. It simply means 100 top companies in the US based on their market cap. However, they are heavily tech companies. You will never see a banking sector company there. So you can see that there are different ways in which indexes can be created. And there's over 6,000 in there are indexes that are around crypto. There are indexes that are around forex, foreign exchange. So there are different indexes. But not all indexes are profitable, even though it is less riskier than individual stock. And I would like to use this example of one of these sector indexes. All right, so let's assume that you bought into a particular index that is purely around tech, right? That means all the companies that are inside that index, that they are purely tech companies. And not just any out tech company. They are tech companies that are AI driven companies, right? Another thing is they are now US based tech company that are AI driven. This is called a sectorial index. How can this become a burden or riskier for you as an investor? So imagine this company that is US based, AI driven, booming, 100 billion in the entire thing that is inside it. And suddenly a small company from somewhere in China called DeepSeek created an AI platform telling you that why do you need to spend $20 per month on ChatGPT when you can achieve the same thing faster for free? Why would I need to spend this money? What would that affect? It will affect the performance of several AI companies within this index because one company from China produces it that you can get it cheaper or free. So you find out that if you are heavily into sector indexes, even though it is less riskier than individual stock, you are still creating a higher risk for yourself. I just needed to push that to you. I will still explain how can you or which one can we invest into. But let's start from here. Now, I've introduced that word index. The question now is, how can we invest into indexes? I have told you for you to invest into stock, you have to use shares. Remember. Now, how can you invest into index? To invest into index, there are two major vehicles, and it is still going to be in the stock market. To invest into index, you can use one of these two vehicles. The first vehicle is what we call mutual fund. Spell fund now, Jide. Wetin dey do you? Mutual fund. What is mutual fund? Mutual fund is simply you giving your capital to a company that has what we call a fund manager or a mutual fund manager. This company, through this person, Is who will determine what index to buy. Is who will determine what portion of index, how to do this. So indirectly, you are cut off from the conversation. You don't determine what to buy. These people are the one that determine what to buy for you. Remember, I said it's more about control. It's not just about giving your money to somebody to do something for you. All right. So what are the limitations of this? Many mutual fund company will not even listen to you if you have less than 50,000 pounds. So the entry capital is high. Number one. Number two, because it is somebody that is managing it, you would have what we call administrative fee. Please, these people are not just making you money because they like you. They are making you money, and out of your money, they will collect fee. Some of them are so bad that they would have a percentage of your return, ROI. Why? Because that's how they become big boys and they live large. So you see that some of us are automatically cut away from investing in index because of this amount. Another reason why I don't go or I don't preach these people is because number two, you are not making money so that you can be paying your profit as fee. Very important. You are making money so that you can keep as much as you can. So two things have practically cut away many of us from this thing called index if you want to go by mutual fund alone. But it is good to know that that is not the only way to plug into index. There is another way you can plug into index, which many of us has heard of. It's called ETF. ETF simply means exchange traded funds. Please, if you want to do paper, you be thesis you want to do, you feel go study anywhere else. But I'm just making it as simple as possible. So ETF becomes another medium through which you can invest into indexes. Guys, if you understand to this point, put 6 in the comment section. We are getting closer. 6 in the comment section if you understand to this point. 6, guys. I need to keep taking water. It's already dry now. Awesome. Now, what are the advantage of this ETF, this index, this instrument called ETF? With ETF, it has solved the first problem. You can deposit and start with as low as £1. As low as £1. So you don't need 50k to start. But no put £1. Make it say you want make 1 million. No, I don't know that. That's number one. Number two, you are the one in control. In other words, you determine what to buy, how much to buy, when to buy, and also when to sell. So it transfers the control back to your hand. So you are not depending on somebody else with big money and big fee. You are in charge with as little as £1. You have control of what to buy, when to buy, how to buy, when to sell. And you can literally do everything on your phone. So you don't need to look for one big stock market somewhere or one big stock company somewhere or one big anything somewhere. Literally do it on your phone and your fee is super low. Super low fee. You know what this puts back into your hand is called control. So in other words, if I know the right ETF to buy, and I know that what I want to do is I have only £100. Instead of me waiting until I have 50,000, I can put my £100 into it, make return, and all is tax free because I am using the ISA system. So, in other words, as shares is to stock, so is ETF to indexes. So the way I can plug into index is using the ETF that is tracking the index. Very simple. Now I'll start going to something why this is something that many of us are sleeping on. So imagine something that the government has given you a bracket of, if I can put 20,000 pounds into this, anything that it's producing is going to be completely tax free. Thank you. And I like using this example a lot. Why? Because this is where you have to start working smart and not just intelligent. And I say that to explain this. Many of us, the only thing we are using to prepare for our future is our pension. In other words, it's only pension that we are using to predict what our outcome will be. But have you sat down to do the calculation? Have you sat down to ask yourself, where are you? And are you going to protect your money more and be in control, most especially if that is all you are doing? Number one, every month you will be paying into your pension pot, right? That's what you are doing. Nothing bad. I'm not against it, if that's okay by you. But do you know that you don't have access to that money? God forbid anything happens to you before 55. You cannot touch shishi of it. Even if you have 100,000 there, and God forbid there's an emergency or something you need to respond to or do quickly to move from one level to another level in life, you don't have access to that money. That's number one. So it simply means that it's until when my teeth don't almost come out, when energy no dey my body again, is that when I want to start enjoying my life. While if I put that same thing side by side into an index or ETF, number one, from a tax perspective, everything I do is tax free. Number two, if there is any emergency or anything I want to do in life, I don't need to wait until I'm 55 before I can bring money out of it. But above all, it is my money is now working for me and producing return for me. Guys, sometimes I like throwing this conversation about pension so that people can start thinking and asking themselves, is this the kind of life I want to settle for? Now, let me go to my board again and do a quick thing for you. Guys, one thing you must understand in this country is anything I can do to reduce how much of this thing I am paying is my fundamental primary assignment. If all I am doing is 9 to 5 as an employee, should I tell you one thing that will happen? All right, so let me put it this way. In the UK, there is something we call your tax allowance. That means anything you make, the first 12,570 is tax free. That means they will not tax you on it. So in a tax year, let's assume you start like this, right? Your income is growing, right? Is growing. This is your income, is growing. Because at the end of the year, you would have earned more than 12,000, right? From a tax perspective, let me show you what it looks like. This is your tax side. At this 12,000, there is a freeze. And this freeze I will explain the difference between this one and this one. What is between this and this is what you are taxed. You can see how intelligent and smart the government is. Why wouldn't they do it like this? That as I am earning more, you are increasing my tax allowance. Why not? The moment they do that, it will reduce how much the government can make from a tax perspective. And that is why they have something called a tax freeze. We are not going to increase how much tax allowance we are giving you, because the moment we increase it is increasing the distance between how much they can make in tax. But the more I make money with this tax freeze, you can see how much you'll be paying that is open to tax can keep growing. Why? Because you are just an employee alone. I hope you are seeing this, because you have to know why you are working and ask yourself, how can I protect my income? That's number one. Now, let's look at it from a retirement point of view, which is what many people are working towards. Retirement age in the UK currently is 67 years, right? Beautiful. Every month in your pay slip, there are two kinds of deduction that is mandatorily done. Number one, your personal tax. Your personal tax that can grow as high as 45% depending on what you are earning. That's number one. The second kind of payment that is mandatory in your pay slip is what we call the NIC, National Insurance Contribution. Right? Now, what is this National Insurance Contribution used for? This is what is used to determine how we take care of people after retirement. And how do they take care of them? They give them what we call state pension. So it is out of what they are deducting from us as national insurance contribution is what they are using to take care of those who have retired now. It's not like they are storing the money somewhere for you for your future. You see why the business of the government is always about this. The more they can take with this, the better they are. Beautiful. Now, for you to qualify for this state pension, you must not only be a resident or must have been a resident in the UK, but you must have done NI contribution for 10 years minimum to qualify for a minimum amount in state pension. This minimum amount in state pension. So you must have done NI contribution of minimum of 10 years. That means anybody who has come into this country from age 57, please forget collecting state pension. You most likely will never get it, except you keep working straight. That means you enter this country, from the day you enter this country, from the month you enter this country till your retirement, you kept working and making sure that this payment is going every month before you can get this minimum amount. That's number one. Number two, to get the maximum amount in your state pension when you retire, you must have worked and contributed for 35 years minimum NI contribution before you can get state pension at retirement. Guys, we're talking about what many people are using to build their future. So you must have done a minimum of 35 years in NI contribution before you can qualify for the maximum amount. Remember, we are talking about your future retirement. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, so anybody that came into this country, 67 minus 35, that is 30 what? Anybody that came into this country after 32 years old can never get the full amount, can never. But the government will keep removing this amount from you. Either you qualify or you no qualify, the government will keep removing this amount. Can you see that this is something that many people are using as what they want to take care of their future? But they don't even know where they are standing based on their age. So that means some of us will most likely never get the full state pension because of the age we came into this UK. Not all hope is lost, but let's follow. Because I need to show you what you are building for yourself if this is all you are doing. Now, currently, I said maximum. Currently, there was an increase in state pension amount. That's good news, right? Amen. Currently, the amount that you will be getting in state pension maximum, if you ever do that 35 years of contributing month on month for 35, I'm not saying you must have been in the UK for 35 years. So the months you did not work and you did not contribute NI will never count. So it no go count. So we're talking about working and contributing NI. So it's not how many years have you been in the UK. Please, you have to understand what we are saying. All right, so this one, currently, government has increased it to £241.30 per week. It sounds like big money now. Yes, now, not everybody. It sounds like big money. That means in a month, you will be getting £965.20 per month. So imagine your personal pension, whatever is coming from your personal pension, plus this is what you'll be getting at the end of the month, every month after retirement at age 75. Don't forget the fact that you don't have access to all this, especially this one, before 55 years. It's only when you are 55 years that you can have access to at least 25% of your personal pension. So you can't even access everything. God forbid there's an emergency operation. No, you have to go and look for money somewhere else. Remember, it is all about control. The moment you understand this, you understand the game, why you can never follow this step and expect to get the kind of life you came here to look for. Beautiful. Now, let me tell you where it starts getting funny. That means in a year, you would have gotten 12,584 per year from your state pension. That is plus anything that is coming from your personal pension, depending on how much you are releasing from your personal pension. Guys, do you know where this thing becomes funny with this increment that is happening? Should I show you where it's becoming funny? Don't forget the amount, 12,584. It simply means that tax allowance, remember the tax allowance, 12,570 is the tax allowance. It means that you are now retired and you are age 67. It means that with only your state pension alone, you're already entering into a tax bracket. With only your state pension alone, it has already pushed you into another tax paying journey of your life. So imagine you worked for 35 years, they tax you. Now that you have retired and they are giving you shikini money, which is less than £1,000 per month, they are saying that if from your state personal pension, let's assume for your personal pension, you know this money cannot take care of you in a year. Hope you know. The older you become, the more choosy your body, the more in quotes what you are eating. Health becomes a major one also. But you were faithful to do your personal pension, right? And in your personal pension, let's assume you are withdrawing 2 grand per month from your personal pension. Do you know that already you have been pushed into another tax journey, even at retirement? So your retirement graph is going to look like something like this. Number one, state pension, right? Beautiful. Okay, no, don't let me draw it to that extent because it's going to cover for tax, right? Number one, state pension, right? Stop at this level, state pension. And this is my tax allowance here, 12,570. So the amount I'll be taxed on my state pension, because this is a freeze, the amount I'll be taxed on my state pension is very small, right? Because it's not growing very significant again, because it's already what? 12,584 pounds at the end of the month. So you see that it's not much, but because this is not the only thing you will be collecting at retirement, you have done salary doubling, you have maxed out all your pension, and you have done it successfully well. Bro, sis, after the first 25% of whatever is coming from your personal pension, the remaining 75% will start to be experiencing 20% tax. So in other words, my tax at retirement can go as high as 40%. Why? Because I am following the system. Don't forget this word, control. And I say that, do you know that this is something that many of us are banking on? And we are working very hard, especially those of us in the corporate space, to take care of us in our future. Number one, the same thing that you don't have access to, God forbid anything happen to you while you are still working. Number two, when you retire and you ought to have your life back, you are still subjected to tax. Even at the retire, you now be declaring self-assessment after retirement. And this is what many of us are banking on. And we are saying, while you are doing that, I'm not against it. If you feel that's what you want to do, me, I've removed my hand from that. I like control. You understand? I did not even mention something. State pension, they increase from year to year. They can increase the amount, what they will put there as the minimum. Do you know, especially for those of us that are saying after retirement, I will move to Nigeria and I'll be using the state pension or whatever I'm working for my pension to take care of myself in Nigeria. It's brilliant. But do you know that once you leave that country and you are no longer resident in that country for a minimum, I mean UK, for a minimum of 183 days after retirement, do you know that every increment that comes on state pension, if like make government increase about another £1,000 extra, because you are not domiciled in the UK again, even as a citizen, after 183 days of not being in the UK, resident in the UK again, you will never enjoy that increment that is coming on it, though it will already be taxed. So we need to ask ourselves, is this the vehicle that we came here to settle for? You see how somebody say, now, what is the better way? Or how can we leverage the system now to position ourselves that even though I am working, but I'm creating a system that can take care of me and give me the kind of future that I will be in control? If you miss anything today, don't miss that control word, that I will be in control. So the moment they keep increasing your state pension, just know, say no be to your benefit, that to get more tax. I will pray to that God. I will start with a very simple example using what we have been teaching since. Remember, we talked about ISA. ISA has told you I can invest as much as £20,000 into the ISA and it can give me return. And anything that it produces for me, it is going to be tax free. Let me add this one to it: for life. It's going to be tax free for life. So Jide has taught you that. Do you know that using the stocks and shares ISA is the best way to maximize? Cash ISA is good for beginners. Stock and share ISA is the best way to maximize this thing so that you can get more for life, tax free. Guys, to do 20,000 in a tax year, do you know what that means in your salary? 20,000, right? Divided by how much? 12 months means you will do a minimum of 1,600, which means many of us will never even maximize this thing that we are talking about. We will most likely never maximize it in a tax year, but it is still there. Now, let's look at this picture and put it side by side with your pension. Remember, I told you, many of you, if you look at your pay slip already, a particular amount is going into your pension, which most likely will be the most biggest thing that will take care of you at retirement. So that is happen regularly, non-stop, right? Beautiful. But the thing about it is you are not in charge. You cannot touch it until retirement, right? All right. At retirement, because your state pension has gone up, this one will be subjected to tax as well, right? 75% of it will be subjected to tax as well, right? Beautiful. What if the same way you are diligently putting £100 into your tax, into your pension rather, what if you are diligent enough to do that into this thing? What can it be like for me when I am 67? Don't forget, I told you this one, you have full control over it. You are the one determining. You can pull out your money at any point in time. You can reduce it. For me, last year, I pulled out of it to add to the money we use for house purchase. All right. So this one is tax free. Number one. How are you, my dear sis? Well done there. Number two, this one, it does not affect any of the visa that you have. No matter the visa you have, this one, government is encouraging you to plug into it. Now, let's create the same scenario we have for our pension, right? And say the same way you are doing your pension, £100 per month. Let's do this one. Year one, for example purpose, I'll do year one. You put your £100. Remember when I showed you my own return on my tax, on my on my trading 212. I showed you my return on trading 212. I'm not even saying, let's assume you are not going to make that amount. My trading 212. Don't let me show you my figure. I don't want to show you. I don't want you to see my entire portfolio. This is my own. Last year produced 47.5% return. 47.5% return. I'm not going to work with that example. Let's assume that your own is so poor, so bad, that all that is producing in a tax year is 10% return. In a tax year, my own students at least is between 18 to 20% return in a tax year. We don't put our money in cash ISA. It's a waste of time. Let's work for example purpose. 10% return in a tax year. It means the first year, my £100 would have generated how much in return? £10 in return. Means that I would now end the year with £110 in return. Remember, we are putting it juxtaposing with what you are doing in your pension. So your second year, you are not spending it. It's not time to go and do oble. You are putting it the same way your pension is accumulating. You are putting it second year, £110, right? With 10% return means it will give you £11 in return in second year, which means your total will now be £121. Third year, this is not the time you go to Nigeria and do IJMB. I just got back and blah blah. We are talking about building for your future. Third year, £121 would produce how much? £12 and 10 pence, right? That means your contribution and your interest would have grown to the total of how much? 133, right? £133 10 pence. This one, pension, you are doing it until you are 67, right? Let's assume you came to this country at age 35. So you will keep doing this for the rest of how many years? 32 years. What if you do this for 32 years? What can it look like? Now, I will go to what I call a compound interest calculator. Let me just Google it out. Compound interest calculator. All right. Compound interest. I use this first one. Okay. So we are in the UK. I'll change it to pounds here. Remember, in your pension, you are doing what? £100 regularly per month, right? So we will start with just £100 every month. 100. And we are doing 10%. Remember, I told you my own students are doing 18 to 20%. But mine, I've shown you last year was 47%. We are doing roughly just 10% with this, right? And you do it for only 10 years. That means you are doing it back to back. I'll answer questions very soon, but not now. Back to back, £100. You are very diligent. You are doing that for your future. £100 every month. 10% return for 10 years. £100 every month. What is the total this will give you? Calculate. You can see that your total, you have contributed a total of £12,000, which is your money. Nobody is touching it. You have access to it any point in time. Don't forget. But your 12,000 has been able to generate interest of £8,000, which now brings your total to 20,000. Don't forget, all this interest is tax-free because you are using the ISA, stock and share ISA. Please pay attention to this number. Just £100. I tell people every month, at least a minimum of 10% of your monthly salary should be a seed for your future. Should be something that you are using for your future. Minimum 10%. I am doing £1,000 every month. I have students that are doing 500 per month. Please, it's your money. Don't forget it. You have access to it at any point in time for 10%, right? Now, let's do that same £100. We'll keep the 10% for now, even though my students and the one I will give you more than 10%. It gives between 18 and 20% return per year. All right, let's work with 20 years now. We are not changing anything more than just the number of years. Beautiful. Guys, note what we had here. Your total contribution was 12,000 at 10 years. That means at 20 years, it will turn to 24,000. But start paying attention to your interest. Your interest was 8,000, right? Total was 20,000. By doubling the year, let's see what it will become. Your total contribution, yes, 24,000 as expected. Can you see how your interest has moved from 8,000 to 52,000 by just being diligent, £100 every month? into your portfolio for 20 years. Now, let's do for 30 years. Remember that we use the age 35. The person was at 35 years to do NI contribution, right? Instead of using NI alone, you are putting it into your investment. You do 30 years. 30 years. 30 years means this one would have done another additional 12. That would be 36,000 in total contribution. But pay attention to this. With this also double to become 100 and something. Let's see when we click calculate. Calculate. Guys, £100 that you would most likely be doing in NI contribution. You creating your own system that gives you control. Total contribution 36,000. Can you see what your interest has become? Can you see it? By just doing £100 every month. By learning how to do it well and doing £100 every month. Now let's work with the projected returns that I'm giving my students. Let's work with our 18%. My own is 43, right? I don't want to work with it. Let's assume it's just 20% return. For 30 years, what will it look like? Guys, see what £100 every month for 30 years at 18% return. See what it can become. See what it can become. And do you know the beautiful thing about this? Don't forget, it is £100, right? I want to remind you, £100 per month, right? That means in a year, the total you would have done is what? 1,200. Even though you have a tax bracket, a bracket allowance of 20k that you are not even maximizing. Bro, it is never too late. It is never too late. There are many things you can use this money to do. So you are not even maximizing your ISA allowance because all you are doing in a month is this. So imagine somebody that is saying, Jide, I want to be aggressive with my future. I'll be doing £250 every month, which is 10% of what I am earning, because I want to plant it as seed into my future. Should I do calculation? Please don't shout Jesus. I don't want to hear ye. I don't want to hear oh God. I don't want to hear all those. If you do it, I'll go block you. Just do when you not talk too much. Calculate. £250. Many of us are using this for Ashwebi, TikTok shop, and the likes, but we are not preparing for our future. And you know the funniest thing? This dude is totally tax-free. I say, don't say Jesus here. Let's say thank you, Father. This dude is totally tax-free. This dude, if you say you don't want to stay in this country, the moment you are leaving, because it's tax-free, all these things you can live with it to any country. This dude, you don't need to wait until you are 55 before you can access it. In between, you can tell yourself, I want to remove a portion to take care of something XYZ. Why? Because you are just diligent in putting this aside to take care of your future. I believe with these few points of mine, being able to structurally bring it to you. If I say don't depend on the system, take advantage of the opportunities that the system has positioned for you and leverage on it so that you can move as quick as possible towards the destination you want. So imagine somebody like me that is doing on £1,000 every month. See why I cannot buy a car of 23,000. Why? Because there will be an age in my life whereby I cannot work again. But I have enough to take care of me, more than enough to take care of me. Why? I'm not waiting to retire at 67. My prayer is to retire at 55 or max 58, retired. And I would never ever sit thinking of what to live on in the rest of my life. If you are not living in the UK, yes, you can access the market. But from a tax advantage, this is for us who are here in the UK. And for me, I keep telling you something. Please, all I'm sharing is not a financial advice, it's educational purpose. So that you can know the kind of life you are positioning for yourself and ask yourself, are you really building a life that will put you in control? And I would always say, please go and learn how it is done before you dip your hand or your money into anything. And I know the next question is, Jide, how can I learn? Who can hold my hand and teach me how this is done? Now, I am grateful to God and I am glad to say it. By the grace of God, I've been able to train nothing less than 200 people, nothing less. Somebody say, imagine being able to do 20K. Last year, I did 20K. Last year, 20K. I don't want to talk much. I don't like bringing figures. I'm not the kind of person that put finger up there. I'm not interested. But like I was mentioning, I I was able to train. Yes, I can do 20K. Why? Because I also have side hustle that is bringing money. So beyond salary, side hustle is there. Like I mentioned in the graph that I showed you, it is something that no matter where you are, either as an employee, business owner, or a side hustle person, you can always put money into the investment system for yourself. So when I make extra coin from my side hustle, I don't look for loud life. I put it into my future as seed so that I can take care of me. Now, like I was mentioned, I've been able to train nothing less than 200 people within 1 year that have literally started from nothing, no information, no knowledge about investing in the UK or investment, to understanding how to invest. And I'm this kind of person. I don't give people fish. I will never ask you, don't give anybody your money to invest for you. And I will never come to your DM. Guys, trust me, after today's class, you'll be getting some visitors. They are not from me. They have a facial look that looks like me. Their page has my video. Please, it is not from me, not the kind of visitor you are thinking. They are scammers. They will come to your DM and tell you, I teach about investment, I have investment, blah, blah, blah for you, and blah. Please don't do that. Please don't fall for them. Anybody that comes to your DM to tell you about any investment in the name or shape of Jide Neye, please don't fall for them. It's not from me. Anything I don't explain to you here or I don't show you how to do it here, please avoid it. Somebody was scammed about £1,000 2 months ago because of that. I will never come to your DM. Just block them. Please trust me, they are here now. They are looking at you guys that are just following me. They are looking at you. Guys, if you are not following me, I don't need to tell you that you are losing money. It's obvious. You will not be hearing things like this that will put you in a better position so that you can leverage on the opportunity in the UK while you are building every other thing. So how can you learn, or what is the thing that I have for you that can help you to learn how to do it well? I'll be turning my screen again, and show you how I have created a system whereby you can learn how to do it no matter your age. I have students who are about 60-year-old. I have students from not just from UK alone. I have from US, I have from Canada, I have from Germany, I have from Belgium, some from Africa. So no matter where you are, this is a kind of knowledge that empowers you. No matter where you find yourself, you are empowered to create that same result, no matter the location. Guys, let me quickly log in and show you what the content look like. I was all in for teaching today. I didn't prepare to show anything, but let me show you so that you can have insight into what I am talking about and leveraging on it. Just 1 minute, guys. Sorry for the delay. Well, I'm apologizing because I'm delayed, but anybody that really needs to move forward and is holding their future in their hands, they'll be willing to wait. All right, just 1 second, guys. I need to. Okay. All right, yes, I'm almost in. So, what I have been able to do is all that you need to know and how you can move from somebody who has no insight, no knowledge on investment, how to do it, to move from no knowledge to applying the knowledge and start building for yourself, so that in as much as you have pension going by the side, you have the right knowledge on how to grow and leverage on this tax-free return opportunity, in the UK. Now, I have created a training course that takes care of this. Let me turn my screen now so that I can show you what I am talking about. I call it the Smart Investment Accelerator course. The first time I did this training, I did a live training, and I discovered that because of people's time and their schedules, not everybody could respond to it at the same time. So I heard people saying, Jide, but I'm on shift. Jide, but I will not be available on this. Jide, will I be able to do this? So what I have successfully done is convert everything into a step-by-step training guide. That's number one. Number two, you would have access to it no matter where you are and no matter the time of the day or the year, for life. I use the word for life as I am alive. All right, so I have over 200 students, like I mentioned. These are just one or few of their feedbacks. This guy said the course was well detailed, precise and concise. I didn't ask them to tell me this, so precise and concise. It touched every part I wanted to know about how to start investing in stock and ETF. I have learned a lot how to invest in ETF. As a matter of fact, this is what I have been looking for many years back. How I wish I met this course like 5 years ago. Anyway, like you say, ignorance is not a strategy. Education and knowledge is the key. Kudos. So there are many feedbacks from students. But let me go to the main crux of why I brought you to this page. Now, each of the course has been designed into a video training that is managed and handled by me. So nobody is doing it. I have looked at everything you need from A to Z, and I have converted it into a video training that can help you because of time. All right. First one, for instance, I've understanding stocks and share. I have explained this to an extent for you today. All right. Let me just play so that you can see what it looks like. All right, so I'll be talking about stocks and shares. Many of you have heard stocks. Beautiful. So this one, you would have opportunity to hear it. If you finish the first one, you move to the second one, understanding where and when to invest in the stock market. I spoke about understanding ETFs. I broke it into 2 different videos so that you can understand it better. I mentioned the 7 reasons why you should invest into ETF. All right, so let me move a little bit. I think I have over zoomed in. All right, 7 reasons why you should invest into ETFs. Next one, I have the exchange traded fund. I simplify it. What are the types of ETF? I told you there are about 6,000 types of ETF. Examples of ETF. What are the things you should note before you buy ETF? This is one of the critical places where people make a whole lot of mistake when it comes to investing in ETF. How to start investing in ETF? Where to buy it? You buy through a broker. What influences the kind of broker you use? Before now, we used to use, most of us, we used to use, what's the name of this broker? Vanguard. But because you are not trying to give money to one broker, you must maximize your fee. We have moved to trading 212. Dollar cost average, which is compounding interest. I broke it down and explained to an extent for you. How do you create your ETF portfolio? the best ETF to invest in. Guys, I'm not just going to give you theory. I'll give you the top 5 ETFs that I myself and majority 200 of my students have invested in. For my students, it has brought a minimum of 18% return. For me, last year, like I mentioned, my total investment brought nothing less than 47% return. So, best ETF to invest. How to create your portfolio, the winning portfolio management strategy. Two portfolios cannot be the same because all our investment goals differ. What are the 4 or the 3 different kind of investment goals, and how to create the one that is suitable for you? I broke everything down. Video course explained. Then I have this one where I took trading 212 and I sliced it into pieces. How to do it the right way, how to deposit your money, how to see your trading history, how to get a free stock. If you use me, for instance, and you use my own training, inside I will show you how you can get a free $10 stock immediately as you are registering first and foremost. All right, you see everything. How do you create your pie? How do you automate it? So it's not something that you have to keep going back month on month to be doing it manually. Immediately you set it up and you set a standing order in your bank, it automatically goes. So for instance, imagine your own plan is to do £100 every month. So automatically it picks £100 from your bank and you put it into your trading account. So once you set it up the first time, you don't have to keep going there to monitor it. You can set it up for as long as you can do it, and to do it the right way. Now, for me, I don't just leave you by the road after teaching you all this thing. You have opportunity to reach out to me and ask questions. Now, I did something in January because I've seen the feedback and the request from my community based on how it is good it has been. So I created something called what do I call it now? I created a community, and within this community, you can see that currently we have 146 people within this community. Let me log in and show you what is within the community, so you can have access to what I'm saying now. All right, so I have logged in the classroom here. Look at all this menu at the top. Oh, let me move this image down now so that you can see it. Look at all this menu at the top. What I have added to it is a community system, so that you are not investing in isolation. You are not just doing it by yourself on your own, and you don't even if you have a question, there's nobody you can reach. You don't know who to talk to. Look at me. See several people asking me, reaching out to me. So I am very actively present here when you have any question. However, it also comes with a community system whereby you can see informations. So people are dropping their feedback. People are asking questions. You are not doing it alone. You are growing in a community. Last month, 2 months ago, I gave them a particular stock that is growing. When I gave them, it has increased by 27%. Somebody reached out to me yesterday with an image and say, whoa, this stock has grown by another 43%. So this is my baby. I come here, I do it, and I also empower people within the community so that they can do it as well. In the classroom here, you see all the video training. Look at the membership section here. You see people from different regions. It's not only, let me hide people's name, I beg. Let me show you the map so that you can have an idea of what I'm saying. So you are not the only one. You have people in the US. If you are in the US community, you in the US location. You have people in the UK. We have people in Spain, Germany. We have people in Africa. So you are not just locating yourself alone and trying to fish it out after buying the course. What am I saying? I am not selling you a course. I am selling you a training that comes with the opportunity to also belong in a community where you can learn and grow together. Now, it comes at a fee, and that is the simple truth. Currently, the fee is around £159, which is $215. £159, which is $215. Well, I do something during this section. Should I do it again? I usually like encouraging people so that they can jump on it. All right, so what I want to do for this period is people who are interested and they want to not just go and working hard, but they want their money to working for them and leveraging on opportunities like this. Instead of you paying this amount. All right, which is what you can see on the page right now. Jide, what should you reduce it to? Let me give a discount. If you go to this link now, SIA, and click on it, let me change and move to the other side so that you can see what I'm saying. Guys, I will never come to your DM to show you where you can get the training. If you go to this link, SIA, that's jideneye.com/SIA. So currently, there are two ways in which you can get it. Using your card as a means of payment can push you into it. Or if you want to use PayPal, Klarna, ClearScore, there's an option for you here. All you need to do is click and use the option that works for you. But I will do something for the first 10 people who are willing to jump. Me, I'm somebody that bought this course before. Please don't be angry with what I'm doing right now. I just feel like I should do something, a good discount for some people tonight. All right, so the top first 10 people that get this thing tonight will not be paying 159. How much do you want them to pay? I'm not looking at the comments, so whatever you're writing, the truth is I know see am, because I know many people. You want many people fight me tonight. You will not be paying 159. How much do you want them to pay? Be like saying I no pray very well though. And I no pray very well though. And I no pray very well though. Wetin happen? I wanted to make it 149, but something in me is just saying no. Let's get it down a little bit. Let's get it down a little bit. But like I say, some of them no pray very well, so I'm finding it difficult to change the price to something lower. Please, if you are not interested in the discount, you can just go there and buy it now. I go appreciate it now. Thank you. I go appreciate you. At least just pay that particular amount. But let me get a discount for you guys. Just 1 second. Now I have to create the discount because I no plan them before. For me, 1 second, guys. 1 minute rather, sorry. Let me create the discount for you guys. For the 10 people who are interested in it, and it's just going to be for the 10 people and it's just going to be for today. After that, it goes back to the normal price. Or by tomorrow, it will increase again. After I am done with this section of streaming that I'm doing, it will go back to the normal price. Please be patient and give me work now. So I'm trying to create a discounted for it. Just 1 second, guys. You are the one that gave me work. But if you are not patient, please, you can just use that link and make the payments now so that you can jump in and start having access to it. Jide, are you sure? Let me do it. It's a way of giving back to the community. I'll do it. Just 1 second, guys. I'm creating the different page so that you guys can have it. But please, after today, don't come to me and ask me for that price because it will not be available again. Please, for those who are my old students, don't be angry, please. Let's just help people tonight. All right, so this is it here. Okay, so it remains one more thing I have to change. Guys, I wish you can see the work that you are giving me at the back end here. One more thing, guys. I'm almost done with what I need to change. This number, I don't expect make this number don't drop to like 30 people. May they remain. I'm coming. I'm changing one more information there so that you can have it. Please, I'm not the one controlling how many people can get it at this price. It's those that jump on it that get it at this price. Anybody that does not jump on it, unfortunately, you'll be getting it at the other price that is coming in. If I tell you the price that's looking at my face here, this guy, now no people no pray very well today. We no pray very well today. No. People no pray. Somebody is supposed to don't pray very well. Make God do something. Hopefully, I can change it. If I can't change it, I'll keep it as I'm seeing now. I'm almost done changing it. It remains one more thing to change. I've done it for the people who will be paying cards directly. It was easier to change it. It's just the second set of people that is left. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, I think I'm almost done. One off. 139. I hope this one works. So updates. I think I'm almost there. Guys, sorry for those who are waiting. Sorry, I'm doing this because I don't start already. Let me finish it. Because I should have even finished my stream right now. Because if I remove this one. Alright, so what I would do, this is what I would do, because it's taking a whole lot of time to sort it now. Alright, so what I would do is anybody who is able to jump on it now is going to get it for 139. Let me change the link, please. I've not changed the link. We'll get it instead of paying 159. We're going to be paying 139 to get it now. Just 1 second, guys. I'm almost done. So instead of paying 159, you'll be paying 139. That's 20 pounds discount. Please, if you don't need that 20 pounds, me, I need them. I beg. Alright, so if you use that same link that I just placed there now, jideneye.com/SIA. Guys, I'm just doing it because of you guys. Sincerely speaking, I should not be doing this. And like I said, it's just open to the top 10 people. After the 10 people, it's going back to, by tomorrow, it will be most likely the 149. Then by the end, which is the last day, I'll move it back to 159 where it belongs. If you go to jideneye.com, yes, I'm coming. I'm editing. That's why I'm not done yet. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm not done yet. Just 1 second. So I'm working on that page. That's why it's telling you that. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Just wait. Wait, please. You are the one who give me work now. If I don't make an easy 159, everybody go dey okay, we go dey go. So I'm just showing the level of work that you guys are giving me at the back end because I have to reduce it. Just 1 second. I will clear the caching now so that you can have access to it. Anybody who is using the Klarna option, unfortunately, I was not able to change it to 139. So for the Klarna option we have there will be 149. But if you use Klarna to pay, reach out to me. I will send you £10. That's what I'll do for tonight. All right. I think that is fair, right? For anybody that uses Klarna for payments, unfortunately, I will not be able to do the discounts tonight. But if you do that, just reach out to me. I will clear it for you and refund you something. All right, so all you need to do is go to jideneye.com/SIA. It should have changed now. All right, yes, it has changed. If you go to jideneye.com/SIA, click on it. Like I mentioned, there are two options. All right, for 139, just 10 people who are jumping on it now. Please, once it's 10, the system will automatically change the price back. So it's not on me. All right. Or if it's not 10, if we don't have 10 people for the end of the night, I'll change it by tomorrow morning. So just all you need to do is just click on this and you pay with your card. If you are playing with Klarna, if you click on this, for instance, it's going to take you to the payment page whereby you have the different options, Klarna, ClearPay, but you can see that it's 149. Make the 149 payments, but just send me a message. You will see my detail. Send me a message. I will refund you £10 out of it. I couldn't change it tonight. So that is it for those who want to jump on it. Those saying error, can I see? Just use this link. Don't use any other thing. Use jideneye.com/SIA. If you have any challenge, you can send a request, come up. I'll be willing to answer your question and attend to it within the next 5 minutes. If you have any challenge, guys. Anybody there? Any challenge? Just send a message here or use a link, that link there, that image, to send an invite. I'll bring you up so I can help you out. I think that's just the reward for the 54 people that stayed here till now. Anybody, please? Wow. I don't see somebody don't enter. Well done, well done, well done. 187. Any question? It hasn't changed. What has not changed? Medicine. Let me know what you mean. Do you mean what you saw on school, or which one? What has not changed? Just refresh it. Anything you have opened before, go back to jideneye.com, this link /SIA. Click on it. Use your card as a means of payment. It would now reflect 187. See it is reflecting $187. It's no longer $215. All right, so $187 is the new reflection. So it has changed from here. So all you need is just go back to jideneye.com, use the link. So instead of paying this amount, I'm just doing it for today and for the first 10 people that are reaching to it. Any question, guys? I'm just waiting for you guys before the leaving. I'm done already with everything, except you have questions you want to ask. Like I mentioned, inside the course, you are not just to learn how to invest. I would also give you the top 5 that I'm giving to all my students as well, that we are using, and it's giving us between 18 and 20% return. You have access to me. You can ask me any questions. I have what I do, which I call Investors Corner. Once every month, I meet with them where I also give them updates. If there's a new thing that is coming out, I give them. In the community now, I'm teaching them REITs. I don't even want to mention the amounts that they are learning REITs for. If I mention it, it will be very ridiculous in your ears. But that's the advantage of being in the community. So you are not doing it alone. We have sections once every month where you ask questions as well. All right. So is it working? I'm just waiting. Let me hear it's working so I can go, please. Merci, Abeni, if it's working. We'll still have a section. We'll still talk about. Oh, awesome, awesome. Abosede, welcome to the family. We'll still talk about investment tomorrow. Still, by tomorrow, maybe if God touch my mind, yes, I can see. You are Abosede, right? Well done. Well, I can still keep it at 139. I don't know, but I'm not promising you. After today is going back to 159. So anybody that jumps on it now, you will meet me inside. It's easy to reach me. Just send me a message inside. Very easy. Once you come in, the first thing you should do is go to your classroom, go and take the training. In less than 2 hours, you finish the entire training. Or max 2 hours, you finish the training. So you can practically finish the training and tomorrow you start investing. I have students that took the course on Wednesday. By Thursday, Friday, they started investing. So it's not something that is an internal course. Easy step by step. So I broke down investing and training to you. That's how easy it is in that course as well. All right, so I think it's working already, so I can take my leave. Thank you so much, guys. Anybody that used the Klarna Clear Pay option as a means of payment, you'll be paying 149. Please just reach out to me. I'll give you £10 return so that we know that it's balanced that way. Thank you so much, guys. We see tomorrow. We'll be rounding up. Tomorrow will be day 13. Wow. That means we have 2 more days left for the 15 days. Jide, you have tried it. Tomorrow will be day 13. I'll still talk about investment tomorrow. Day 14. Yeah. Day 13, day 14. I'm looking at bringing somebody to talk to us about property, mortgage here in this country. The REIT is paid for in the community now. The REIT, I don't understand what you mean, happiness. Oh, the REIT is paid for, yes, now. It's a different course. It's different from your ETF investment. Yes, it is. It's different. But at least start from someone first, yeah? Once you understand and see that I was working, move to the next one. But for me, I will encourage you, jump on board. I don't want to talk about REIT. I think I'll talk about REIT on day 14. I'll talk about REIT and now you can take advantage of REIT on day 14. All right, so thank you so much, everybody. We meet tomorrow again by 6 p.m. UK time. Please, I will never come to your DM. Can a student join it? Yes, it's open. Anybody who is staying in the UK, as far as you are 18-year-old and above, no age limit. You can join it. Your kind of visa does not limit you into investing. And like I said, in the UK here, you are on the ISA system. So it makes it tax-free, anything you are doing. So it's open to a student as well. Before you go and blow the £100 by the end of the month on something else, start thinking of your future and planting the seed. Have a beautiful night rest, everybody. Sorry for the delay for those who were delayed. By tomorrow, we'll continue our conversation on investment. We'll be talking about the mistakes people make in investment. Are the REIT also? No, the REIT is not part of it. The REIT is a new course I am releasing. It's coming out by the first week of next month. I'm releasing REIT. REIT is just an additional means of making income, but the one that will take care of your future is purely ETF, and I'm being honest with you. The reason why I'm even bringing out REIT is because of the pressure that has been on me. You understand me? I would rather tell you focus first on ETF. But now that ETF is working for you, I've seen it working, build REIT by the side, because REIT helps you to take care of immediate needs while you are building your future with ETFs. All right, so I don't want to talk about REIT so much today, but thank you so much, guys. We'll talk tomorrow about the mistakes people make in investments. And if I see fresh set of people who still want to learn about it, I will still talk about it. And who can tell? The discount can still be on by tomorrow, but after tonight, I'm putting it back to where it belongs. Have a lovely 9:30. That's 3 hours, 30 minutes of streaming. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Tomorrow. Bye bye. I love it. See you tomorrow. Bye.